Hi guys, welcome to Chris Cowlin's YouTube channel for the massive Tottenham Hotspur versus Chelsea Premier League game. How are you guys feeling about this? Let me know in the comments. Maybe you are feeling a little better about it than you were, I don't know, an hour or two ago before the team news, where it's fair to say that Ange Postecoglou, who is under a lot of pressure, has surprised us. I will get into that team news in a second, but we are live on YouTube, Facebook, X and Twitch on Chris Cowlin's channel. Make sure if you haven't subscribed to Chris's channel already, do, at Chris Cowlin. Also, give this video a like. That enables it to get up the algorithm and seen by as many Tottenham Hotspur fans as possible. I will be doing the live watch along throughout the game today. Then I will do an instant match reaction. And then at about 7:30 p.m., after I've interviewed some Spurs fans from all around the world, Chris will be back with his usual Spurs Chat podcast at 7:30 today with Craig Dearman, Terry Kim, and Richard Whitehead, MBE. But let's go through that team news, guys, and do let me know in the comments what you think about this team that Big Ange has picked. In goal, obviously, Fraser Forster, Pedro Porro, Destiny Udogie, and then the big surprise, Mickey van der Ven and Christian Romero, both starting. Spurs had an absolute injury crisis in the centre-back position, especially once Ben Davies got injured in the last game. But Van der Ven and Romero both start. Bissouma in the 6, Pape Matar in the 8 with Deki Kulusevski, and then Son Heung-min, Dominic Solanke, and Brennan Johnson. Let me know in the comments what you think of that team, guys. I, for one, am really glad to see that Mickey and Romero are back. I'm just slightly nervous. Is it something that Ange has done because he's under pressure and he knows he needs a result in this game big time? And is he rushing them back a little early? I'm particularly worried about Van der Ven. Let's go through the bench. Sergio Reguilon, Radu Dragusin, Maddison, Gray, Bergvall, Werner, Spence, Austin, and Will Lancashire. Let's go into the Chelsea team. Sanchez, Caicedo, Badiashile, Colwill, Cucurella, Lavia, Fernandez, Sancho, Palmer, Neto, and Jackson. On the bench, Dizazi, Tosin, Madueke, Jorgensen, Felix, Nkunku, Dewsbury Hall, Gusto, and Vega. Listen, Chelsea, despite all of the pressure that they've been under, having let Mauricio Pochettino go at the end of last season, despite the fact that he had a good kind of back end to the season. Again, just signing endless players during the summer, a bit of a laughingstock. But Enzo Maresca has done an unbelievable job. And Chelsea now, with a chance, after Arsenal did not beat Fulham this afternoon, Chelsea have a chance to go second in the league and be the closest to Liverpool, who have had an amazing weekend considering their match was called off and no one's taken advantage of it. But anyway, more importantly, basically today, Ange Postecoglou has his first team out for the huge London derby. His first team basically available except for Vicario. So there'll be no excuses in terms of injuries, that's for sure. But what Spurs are we going to get? What Tottenham Hotspur are we going to get today? Are we going to get the Manchester City 4-0 at the Etihad Tottenham Hotspur? Or are we going to get the Tottenham Hotspur that we saw at the Vitality Stadium in the week? Just such a disappointing performance, wasn't it? So disappointing. And to say that the atmosphere around Tottenham Hotspur Football Club on social media has been toxic since then would be an understatement. Social media has gone completely bananas. Either you're ENIC out, you're Levy out, or you're Big Ange out, or all three. And yeah, things could get very ugly at the stadium today if Chelsea were to score an early goal or a couple of early goals. But having this team out, I'm really hopeful that the fans will properly get behind Spurs and really make them the 12th man today, make it intimidating for Chelsea. It's a wet, cold day in London. And yeah, we really need a big result here. Because if we don't get something, and if the performance is bad, it could get very, very ugly there, especially for Daniel Levy. And the ENIC out brigade are really kind of chomping at the bit to start the protests again. Let's go into some of the comments, guys. Graham Kennefic, thank you for writing in, says Van der Ven could be dodgy, cross our fingers he doesn't pull another hamstring. Well, that's kind of what I was saying, isn't it? It's a bit of a worry. But Ollie says this, having Van der Ven back just makes you feel better. I don't think him being away has been our downfall, but it will be less painful, assuming he doesn't limp off. Tom Bodler says potentially rushing players back to stop the rot. High risk, particularly with Van der Ven. So I think we're all feeling kind of similar here. They're just showing their real light show actually before this game at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. They're really trying to get the atmosphere going there. But Spurs at the moment are in 11th place. 11th place in the league. We have to be better. We have to do better. Graham also says, let's hope we play well and the team produce a great performance and the fans get the stadium rocking. Completely agree. Let's make ourselves the 12th man, the fans. Very positive selection. Matters could come on later to finish them off. Deckerman says, have faith. Guys, thank you so much for all your comments. Please keep the comments coming in. And of course, if we get any super chats, I'll put them up on the screen as well. Hannah Young, thank you for writing. It says, feeling good as long as Romero Van der Ven are fully fit. Come on, you Spurs. What do you guys think at home about James Maddison not starting this game? He's not been in the greatest of form, but he is one of our only creative players. And we pushed Kulusevski to the right, didn't we, against Man City, and that really worked and had Maddison play. But here today, he's gone with the kind of more tried and trusted Bissouma in the 6, Sarr, and then Kulusevski. I don't know. I'm glad Kulusevski's back playing centrally. That's what I will say. I'm slightly nervous, I have to say, about Neto, like the script. I called the script, didn't I, in the week about the Bournemouth player Howson, who was on Spurs' list scoring, and he did. And I fear Pedro Neto getting in behind Udogie or Porro and causing us real trouble with his pace because, of course, he was a player that Tottenham were really interested in buying. As the teams come out onto the pitch now, Spurs have a big tifo in the South Stand today. I used to be a South Stand season ticket holder. I miss it there. But let's just make this such a big... It's an aude est facer. To dare is to do. Tifo, very impressive from Spurs, and good to see us taking this game seriously. But of course, the reality of this game is if we cannot stop Cole Palmer, if we cannot stop the likes of him, Neto and Sancho, we will be in trouble. And of course, this is the game from last season where Tottenham's amazing start all went downhill. Dave Allen says, chill, Barnaby, believe, with a blue heart. Yeah, look, I find it hard to chill. I find it hard to chill because this is Tottenham and it's against Chelsea. But let's see what happens, guys. Guys, please do give this video a like. I've only got 5 likes on this video so far. If you give us a like, it can get seen by more Spurs fans. So please do give this video a like on YouTube and wherever you are watching. Really appreciate that. John North says, could be ugly today. Timothy Minter says, change the coach, gives Levy another 3 years. You finally have one that cares. Yeah, I don't want Ange out. I'm not Ange out at all. I did a video on my channel, which is at Barnaby Slater _ on YouTube. Come and give me a subscribe. I did a video this week about how I think we've got to totally believe and stick with Ange Postecoglou. It's the only way forward for this club at the moment. Guys, if you've just tuned in, this is the live watch along for the Tottenham versus Chelsea game. And they're just reading out the teams at the stadium. Fans... I can hear the atmosphere. It is building. It is building at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium, and we really need it to be. One positive that I can come up with before this match starts. Spurs have, so far this season, been better against the better teams, the teams who've come at us. And it'll be interesting to see whether Chelsea try and play a little bit more like a block. Maresca will change his tactics to try and not suit us, or whether they'll come at us and leave some spaces in behind. As they show Son Heung-min, who's only scored 3 times in his last 14 Premier League appearances so far. Excuse me. 470 of you watching at the moment, guys. Thank you so much for all your support. Please do press that like button. Let's get seen by as many people as we can. Let me know in the comments what your predicted scores are. I'll be on a little bit of a delay, so I won't be getting in the comments that much during the first half, but at half time, I'll be doing a big question and answer session in the comments. So do get your questions in for me and let me know how you feel about this game as it goes on. Very, very nervous about this one. I think it's fair to say. When am I not nervous, though, realistically, about watching Spurs? As on Sky, they cut to the VAR room as if they feel like that's going to be a big part of this game. It certainly was in this game last year, wasn't it? As the Tottenham trumpeter plays when the Spurs go marching in, and I can tell you, That very Spurs trumpeter did an amazing favour for a friend of mine. My friend Martin's mum so sadly passed away recently. She was a huge Spurs fan, and the Spurs trumpeter came and played when the Spurs go marching in at her funeral. What an amazing thing to do. Come on, you Spurs. Let's just kind of banish those last few performances against Roma, against Fulham, against Bournemouth, and let's really get going in this game early, and let's not get any men sent off either like we did in last year's game. We're going to be kicking from right to left in the first half as we look at it, and it's about to start. Fans seem right behind us at the moment. There we go. Okay. How are you guys feeling about this game? Nerve-wracking, to say the least. Fraser Forster gets an early touch, lays it back to Mickey van der Ven. It's good to see him back. And he plays a dinked ball over the top of the Chelsea defence. And why not? Solanke putting a bit of pressure on Sanchez here. It nearly comes all the way back. It was a good press from Dominic Solanke, putting the keeper under pressure there. Chelsea with Enzo in midfield, getting a bit of space there. Plays it out to Cucurella. And Enzo's gone down the line for him. It's good to see Brennan Johnson back on the right-hand side. I thought he looked uncomfortable against Bournemouth on the left, to be honest. As Chelsea play it back to Sanchez now. And across wide to the right. And Chelsea have been pressed here, and Spurs have won it up high up the pitch. Kulusevski takes on his right foot. He's going to have a dig, is he? Lays in Johnson. He might have a dig here, Johnson, and it's a corner. Good start from Spurs, pressing Chelsea into a bit of trouble there. Now, I was complaining a lot. Oh, they've taken the corner quickly. Kulusevski trying to play a little dink ball in. Kulusevski still using his strength on the outside of the box. Plays in Basuma, who's in a lot of trouble here, having to go backwards, but does really well. And finds Pedro Porro out wide. We've got men in the box here. If he could have delivered a better cross, and he couldn't. And now, on the transition, Nicholas Jackson is running at Spurs, and down at the bottom, Neto is free as well. Spurs have got 5 bodies back, but Chelsea now joining Nicholas Jackson. And gives it to Cole Palmer on the left. Enzo. Dinks it over the top, out wide to Jadon Sancho on the left, who goes backwards into Palmer. And Chelsea just knocking it about quite comfortably. Spurs starting this game with a good tempo, a tempo that wasn't seen in that game against Bournemouth at all. Chelsea play through Spurs very easily, though, and Jackson's in the channel here. Romero's with him. And he dinks it, he backheels it to Sancho. Very fortunately gets past Romero. And they have a shot, and it's blocked. And that's going to go out for a Chelsea corner. And they're very happy, Jadon Sancho, to take that corner because they know how poor Spurs have been defending set pieces in the last 18 months. As you'd expect from a Chelsea-Spurs game, it started at quite the tempo. Chelsea kind of getting a kind of love train going in terms of in the box. And it looks like lots of stuff's being thrown on the pitch by fans. Don't know what that's about. It's Tottenham fans who are doing it as well. What are they throwing? Oh, I think they're basically making paper airplanes out of the tifo. What are they doing? What are they doing? It's just embarrassing. Anyway. Fans now getting behind Spurs. But it's Chelsea with an out-swinging corner. Cole Palmer to take it. Oh, and he goes a bit short to Enzo. Gives it back to him. He's more by the byline now. It's a good cross. And it's a free header over the bar. Oh, but it hasn't gone out. Sorry, I thought it went over the bar. That was an optical illusion. It's come to Sancho now on the right-hand side. Taking on Mickey van der Ven. Comes backwards. Neto takes on Destiny Udogie there, but Udogie stands up well and goes out for a throw-in. Well done, Destiny. Chelsea with the throw-in. Chelsea just taking a bit of time over everything here. I think just trying to dampen down the Spurs crowd a little bit. Caicedo is playing right back today with the throw-in. Into Cole Palmer. Gets it back. And it's another throw-in. Go into the comments briefly. Twanvo says, Barnaby, I found you, mate. Good to have two centre-backs back. Good man. 4 minutes 30 gone. Chelsea just slowing things down here. And it's gone back into their back line with Solanke starting the press. Johnson going with him. Oh, and Cucurella slipped and Johnson is past him. And Spurs have a 3-on-3 here. Johnson's going to get to the byline. Oh, he tries the early cross. It's a goal! Solanke, come on! Great cross from Brennan. Solanke on the half volley. Wow, what a great goal. And that came from Cucurella's slip. 4th minute, great start for Spurs. So the ball comes to Cucurella just in his own half and he slips and Johnson gets it away from him. He drives towards the byline and actually he crosses it earlier than I thought he might. Plays it brilliantly and Solanke just makes a perfect little 3-yard run in front of his man into the near post. That is top-notch striker play and a brilliant goal and a great start for Spurs. It's an unbelievable finish. Yeah, Jamie Carragher is saying exactly the same on co-coms. Brilliant centre-forward play just to make, just as the cross is about to come in, just a little 2-yard dab to the near, just inside his man. And Ange Postecoglou with the fist. Got to say, Tottenham did score early in this game last season, though, didn't they? And then got a little bit carried away. So let's hope it doesn't go the same way. We're off again. Deki Kulusevski putting the pressure on the 6. Goes back to Sanchez. Takes it on his left foot this time. Goes long. Romero heads it. Cucurella now. Throw into Chelsea. Tottenham are an absolute Jekyll and Hyde team at the moment, aren't we? Good press there. And actually, Basuma pressed and gave away a foul on Enzo, but a good press in midfield there from Spurs. Chelsea popping it about still. Spurs really pressing very high with Solanke. And now Johnson. And Chelsea break out of that pretty easily through central midfield. And they're free in on the left now with Jadon Sancho. Jackson makes the run for him down the line. Sancho comes inside, plays it to Enzo, back to Jackson. This is good football from Chelsea. And they're free at the back post, but he doesn't get it over Destiny Udogie. And Spurs are able to clear for the first time and not the last time today. Spurs not really marking their far post. And now Jackson in the box again, but Romero does really well and tackles him. And then plays a bizarre back heel in his own box as Spurs try and play it out. And Basuma does well, and that should be a yellow card. That should be a yellow card. That should be a yellow card. But the ref doesn't want to make a rod for his own back. But they stopped a definite attack for Spurs there. Jamie Carragher just saying how wound up he is that Romero did a little Cruyff back heel in his own box, put Spurs under pressure. But actually, we nearly played out for a perfect transition from it. But the Chelsea player took Basuma down. It should have been a booking. And Romero, I think, is injured. Oh my God, you could not write this. Literally talked about it, didn't I, before the game? Has he been rushed back because Ange is under pressure? It looks like he's done his thigh, Romero. I think he's going to play on, which I think is probably a mistake, but we're not exactly blessed with options, are we? On the bench, who can play centre-back? Reguilon, Gray. That's pretty much it. Spence. Spurs play a difficult ball in between midfield there, and Jackson. And Romero does well there, actually. He looked a bit unsteady on his feet, Romero. And Pape Matar has given it away in central midfield, but Mickey van der Ven saves Spurs and just whacks it down the pitch, and that's a huge roar from the Tottenham fans just because he didn't try and piss around with it. He absolutely battered it away. I think we have to be careful with Romero here. Spurs press Chelsea all the way back to Sanchez again, and he hacks it out of play because he's under such pressure. Doesn't like it on his left foot, and Spurs are very happy to let Sanchez have it on his left foot. In the box now with Deki, but he loses it. And Chelsea are finding it quite easy to get out. But then, yeah, on the transition, they're looking very dangerous. And a big old tackle in midfield there from Van der Ven ahead of Cole Palmer. And he's pressing him all the way back. He's pressing Caicedo all the way back there. And Sonny tries to get involved. You don't see Sonny tackle that much. And then Sonny's given away a foul. And it was against Palmer. Went to the 10th minute. Tottenham Hotspur 1, Chelsea 0. But Chelsea do look dangerous on the transition. And Spurs look dangerous when they're pressing Chelsea high up the pitch. Oh, wow. Bizarre bit of play there as he takes the free kick. Got to get there, Decky. Oh, Spurs had a chance there, but Enzo Fernandez saved Chelsea's skin. Very bizarre passage of players. Chelsea took a free kick against their own man. And it bounced favourably for Spurs, but they couldn't do anything with it, unfortunately. Assar does well to tackle his man, but it breaks away from again to another Chelsea player. They're getting a bit of luck in the 50-50s here, Chelsea. Cucurella. Oh, and he slips again. That's the second time. Johnson takes it away from him, gives it to Porro, into Kulusevski. Looked offside to me. He wants to have a shot here, Decky. And he does. Bottom went to goal, but I think he's offside. Now, this is exactly... I'm not going to celebrate this because I think he was offside from the first bit, and this is exactly what happened against Chelsea last season. If it does count, it's a brilliant goal from Kulusevski, cutting across the box. Cucurella's now running off the pitch because he slipped twice already, looking for some new boots. But I'm not going to celebrate this one because I fear VAR will be the death of us on this. And we don't forget against Chelsea last year, Son had a goal disallowed when we were 1-0 up, and everything changed straight away. Watching the replay now. So Cucurella slips. Now, is Decky offside here? No, he's not offside. I don't think he is. I think Spurs are 2-0 up. It's a brilliant, brilliant goal. He ran all the way across the box. Sonny is... They're just wondering whether Son will be given offside, but he's not blocking the goalkeeper at all. No chance can that be offside for Son. Brilliant from Kulusevski. And usually when Kulusevski is running across the box like that, he's always trying to bend it into the far corner, but he gave Sanchez the eyes and hits it into his near corner. And both goals have been a result of Marc Cucurella slips. Amazing. Spurs 2, Chelsea 0, and they've won the ball high up the pitch again. Spurs absolutely battering Chelsea at the moment. Sarr down the left-hand side. Udogi's gone outside him, but Sarr cuts in. He's going to find a cross here. It's a good ball into Son Heung-min. Digs it out. Chance for Udogi. Oh, and it goes wide. That could have been 3-0. Deflected wide for a corner, I think. No, the ref gives a goal kick, or maybe he was offside earlier in the play. Yeah, he was. It would have been offside against Son. Great start from Spurs, but Chelsea do look dangerous on the transition. Also, like I said, Spurs are just an utter basket case of a team. So it's guys, get in the comments, let me know what you think. But I'm too scared to get too excited. But Spurs currently 18 pressures in the final third, really pushing Chelsea high. And you have to say, these players are playing for Ange Postecoglou. They are playing for him. If you had any doubts, they are. They're putting everything into this. 13 minutes gone. Sanchez goes long to Cucurella. Chelsea play it out well into Sancho. Yeah, and this is what they're doing well all game, just on the break. But Pedro Porro gets in a good position. And Romero is calling that he has to go off the pitch. And Dragishin is coming on, of course. How did I forget about Dragishin? But that's okay. I don't mind that because he'll be able to play on the right-hand side with Van de Ven on the left, and that will keep us the balance. It looked to me earlier on that Romero had done his thigh, and he's crying. I think Romero's very upset. But I did say before the game, it was a risk for Ange to bring in both Romero and Van de Ven straight away. Maresca is having a word with his goalkeeper. Let's get in the comments a little bit here, guys. Thank you so much for watching. G Moore, F Romero out again, yeah. Etu Laria says QT is cooked for FSS. FFS. Cyril, thanks for writing in. Says Coys, we can do this. Must defend well in possession, take chances. Began to win a trophy. Spurs can win this 3-2. That was from earlier on. Keep your comments coming in, guys. Keep your comments coming in. And please do give this video a like as we watch Romero walk off the pitch. He's devastated about it. But the game has started. Restarted. Cole Palmer on the right easily beats Yves Bissouma there. What a player Cole Palmer is. But Bissouma gets back in shape. And Chelsea now playing it around their back line as they have all day. And Solanke again pressuring Sanchez, who has to go long. And Dragoshin takes it down on his chest well, but then gives a dodgy pass to Porro, who goes back to Forster. He needs an option here, Forster. And he does well to go long into central midfield. Flicked on by Sonny. And Solanke's got a bit of time here, but he's been given offside. That's a shame, actually. Caicedo takes a quick free kick to Lavia. Chelsea now on their left-hand side. Cucurella plays it back again to Colwill. Across to Sanchez. Solanke, as ever, pressing down the keeper. Oh, no, Doggy's let this bounce, and that was a mistake. And they're in here with Nicholas Jackson in the box, but Porro gets back and heads it back to Forster. Brilliant defending from Porro and gives it the fists to the fans. Top stuff. Destiny Udogie on the ball now with Pape Matar on the left-hand side. Plays it to Son on the touchline, who's staying a lot wider than Spurs were against Bournemouth. It comes back to Bissouma. And now to Van der Ven, who will find Forster. Forster's being pressed. He's going to go back to Van der Ven. Plays a lovely ball into Son. He plays it round the corner to Bissouma. Son finds Deki Kulusevski. Oh, nearly got through, but it's Badiashile with an important tackle. But oof, that was nearly great play from Tottenham Hotspur on the left-hand side. Now Chelsea with Cole Palmer in on the right. Not in, but playing some good stuff on the right. Get it across to Lavia. And now they're going to find Sancho all the way over on the left-hand side. Cucurella finds him and continues his run. Brennan Johnson's got to go and help out Porro there. Johnson's not breaking his back to help there. And Sancho's going to have a free shot. And he scores. Brennan Johnson, just lazy. Johnson didn't do enough to help out Porro there. So Sancho picks it up wide and then cuts inside, and Johnson just stops. And then he cuts across the box and fires it into the far corner, in off the far post. It's a good finish. And as ever in these Spurs-Chelsea games, so many goals, so much going on. Van der Ven dinks it towards Dominic Solanke. He's in a bit of a scrap there with Badiashile. And Colwill plays it back to his keeper. 2-1, 17 minutes gone. Johnson. Oh, the ref gives a foul against Dragoshin when it really wasn't. Tottenham. That's why I couldn't get too excited at being 2-0 up, because it's so early and Tottenham is such a basket case. But you've got to say for Sancho, it was a good goal. Really good finish. But Spurs, you've got to show him the outside. You know, with Jadon Sancho, he just wants it on his right foot. Good press from Bissouma. The referee calls it for a foul again. And Cole Palmer takes it quickly. Spurs have only had one home clean sheet since November 2023. Chelsea just popping it around midfield now. Dinks it over the top towards Nicholas Jackson. It's actually well defended by Mickey van der Ven. Gets it out for a throw-in. Sancho just threw something into the crowd. I don't think you should be doing that, mate. You should be booked for that, at least. Are you allowed to throw things into the crowd now? Ref's letting him off. Oh, Chelsea Spurs. Sonny nearly blocked a pass that found Cole Palmer, and actually Pape Matar then does block it. Gives it into Solanke. Oh, who unfortunately runs straight into Lavia. That was a shame. He couldn't hold that one up. 20 minutes now gone. Tottenham 2, Chelsea 1. Oh, nearly pressed it up, nearly won it up high, but Chelsea are now through. And they've got men forward, and they're going to find Sancho again on the left here. Big chance for Chelsea. Terrible final ball from Sancho, though. Goes straight out of play. Spurs play it long up to Solanke. He does pretty well, but he's being grabbed, but the ref's not giving him anything. And the fans getting annoyed about it. It's a good atmosphere to this game. So the ball goes back to Sanchez. Tottenham not quite pressing as hard now, but the fans trying to get behind them. Cucurella goes long into the channel. Nicholas Jackson all on his own. Mickey van der Ven's gone across with him. Chance here. Sancho. Oh, Cole Palmer just missed his kick. An absolute air shot. You don't see that very often. Kulusevski gets away from his man. That's got to be a booking for Lavia. That has to be a booking. That has to be a booking, ref. Thank you. An air shot from Cole Palmer from 8 yards out. Spurs get away with one. Kulusevski was away from Lavia and Spurs were on the break, and that's why he's been booked in central midfield. Sonny does well on the left. Sonny gets away from his man, Caicedo, and plays it down the line into Kulusevski, who's got a bit of space here to get a cross in. Oh, he takes a touch too far, and that's a corner. Just when the ball came across, Enzo got to the byline, cuts it back, and Palmer just hits his wrong leg, goes through his legs. And I think Dragoshin just did enough just before the ball got to Palmer to put him off by kind of trying to get his toe on it. Anyway, corner to Spurs. Sonny going to take it, whipping it in. Come on, I'd love us to score a set piece. Come on. Oh, it's cleared at the near post. Sonny letting the ball bounce. Does well. Finds Kulusevski. Can he win something else? Trying to be clever there, Decky. Oh, and tell you what, Chelsea clear it so fortunately goes to Jackson. Now it's 3-on-3. And Sonny's one of the three trying to chase back. Actually, it's 3-on-2. Destiny Udogie does brilliantly. Stops it all on their own. And now Spurs are on the transition. Sarr finds Udogie. And Spurs still have three forward here. Finds Johnson on the right. Cucurella going out to him. But Udogie's made a good run for him. Yeah, Udogie at the byline. Oh, and he tried to keep it on. He shouldn't. But Johnson now has the ball. Just win something here, Brennan. He chips it to the back post. Oh, and really brave defending at the back post. And now Chelsea on the attack with Neto, who's going to take on Son. But Son in a good position makes him go backwards. Really big win in midfield by Pedro Porro there. And finds the ball back to Fraser Forster. That was an important headed challenge that he won. And Forster finds Van der Ven. There's so much tempo to this game. This is why people around the world love the Premier League. As Porro finds Van der Ven. Udogie gives him an option. And Son gives him an option. He goes around the corner. Finds Solanke. Brilliant. And Son's in on the left. And can he get his head up and find Brennan Johnson, who's in at the back post? It's too late for that now. Oh, and Son instead goes on his favourite attempts to go into the top corner, and it's just over the bar. Ange. Devastated that didn't go in. Sanchez goes long. It was beautiful play, including some great hold-up play from Dominic Solanke in that little move that ended with a chance for Sonny. Please do like this video if you haven't already, guys, and subscribe to Chris's channel at Chris Cowlin and to my channel at Barnaby Slater _. Pape Matar now on the left. Not blessed with options, but finds Pedro Porro, who goes back to Sarr. Chelsea putting a big press on here. Mickey van der Ven will go long. And he doesn't actually get it past the Chelsea man. And now Chelsea in a good position. Dragoshin does well. And Spurs do really well to win that. And Moise Caicedo just went through on Son there, totally unnecessarily. Son doesn't really throw himself to the ground, so fortunate. It's a shame Son didn't just kind of dink the ball away from him there, because it would have been a definite booking and a foul, maybe even more. 25 minutes gone now. Tottenham 2, Chelsea 1. Down the line, Solanke is fouled in the back, but the referee doesn't give it, even though he's been giving fouls against Spurs for those all game. Yeah, Solanke just asking Anthony Taylor, why not? Same thing happens again. Basically, Badiashile is allowed to go through the back of Solanke at will at the moment. I don't know why. It's a good scrap between Badiashile and Solanke. And here it comes again. Solanke tries to turn him. And this time the ref does blow up for a foul against Badiashile. And that was the least foul of all of them, I think. Spurs have 3 players on the left here if they can do this quickly. Udogie finds Basuma, who finds Son down the left. Good skills from Sonny. He was tempted to get the ball into the box there, but he doesn't. Finds Van der Ven. He plays it across to Dragishin. Someone needs to come close for Dragishin. Finds a good ball out to Brennan Johnson. Cucurella chasing him. Johnson tempted to turn him, but doesn't. Cucurella putting the press on him. Johnson does well to turn him this time. Beautiful play down the right. And Johnson's in down the right now. Can he find Kulusevski? It comes to Kulusevski. Oh, he's at the byline now. And it's hit his hand, unfortunately. It's a foul and a free kick to Chelsea. Good stuff from Brennan Johnson down the right. And actually, he tries to cross it when I think he could have maybe cut it back to Kulusevski. Chelsea take the free kick to Sanchez. Solanke chasing him. And he has to go long. Udogie against Neto here. Udogie wins the header. Basuma tries to back heel it into Sarr, but it goes off for a throw-in. 65% possession to Chelsea so far. Popping it about nicely in between the defence and the midfield. And they put it over the top there. Dragishin battling with Jackson. And Porro does really well to help out his mate there. And then plays a really bad ball. He tries to find Sarr, but it only finds Caicedo. Caicedo goes for the big diag. Porro looks like he's in a good position. Gets a good header on it. And Johnson's there to help him. But Cucurella gets there first. Goes back to end zone. It comes back to the Chelsea back line. Into Lavia. He's got a lot of space in central midfield. And that comes out to Cole Palmer, who finds Neto, who's staying out wide for now. Neto now coming inside. Udogie fouls him, and he doesn't need to. Got wrong side of him there, Udogie, and fouls Neto. And this will be a good opportunity for Chelsea to get a ball into the box. Yeah, really unnecessary foul from Udogie there. I don't know what he's doing. And this is maybe 32 yards out on the kind of inside right channel. And it looks like Cole Palmer with his left foot will try and bend it towards the far post. Spurs are trying to keep their line on the 18-yard box. It'll be about the weight of the cross. This is one of those ones where they're going to try and put it in between defence and attack. Just realised I haven't done the scoreboard. Apologies. And the ball goes all the way out. Apologies for not doing the scoreboard earlier. That's poor from me. Spurs take it quickly. Deki Kulusevski now has it in the Chelsea half. He's driving at Cucurella using his strength, but Cucurella outpaces him and wins it off him. Pape Matar putting the high press on Cucurella. And then Cucurella dives on the floor when he didn't really get a touch, trying to get the player booked. And he does get Sarr booked. And it was stupid from Sarr. But I don't think he touched him. Yeah, it's nothing in it, but Cucurella really gets him booked there by jumping on the floor like he's been shot. Chelsea play it back to Sanchez, and as ever, Solanke pressing him hard. Sanchez goes to Badiashile, who kicks the ball straight off. Good press from Spurs. And Udogie's got the ball. Thought he might go for the early throw there, but Udogie didn't have anything on. Udogie into Solanke, who gives it back to Udogie, who goes back to Solanke. Lovely play from Solanke. And again, the ref doesn't give him anything, which is mad. And Chelsea are out. Oh, good touch from Dragusin, but it bounces to a Chelsea player again, and Sancho's in on the left again. This time he plays Jackson in, and Chelsea are in here, and it just goes behind Enzo. And Spurs get a good ball out to Kulusevski. He needs options here, Decky. Solanke holds it up really well and gets fouled. Well, the ref play on, but Spurs are under a bit of pressure here because of it. Lovely play between Porro and Basuma. Oh, Kulusevski could have played Johnson in then, but didn't. And for the second time, Cucurella out-muscles Kulusevski. Basuma slips. It's a very weird game so far. Loads of space for Cole Palmer here. Really dangerous. They've got to close him down. They've got to close him down. Great save from the keeper, but another chance this time for Neto. Two amazing saves from Fraser Forster. We let Palmer come too far with the ball. You have to close him down, not let him get a shot. Now Neto has the ball. Again, running inside. Chelsea very dangerous when going forward. And here comes the big diag. Over to Sancho. Porro fronting him up. Two huge saves from Fraser Forster there. Just showing his agility, even at his age, is still there. Great stuff from Dominic Solanke. Nearly wins the ball off Colwill on the halfway line. His pressing is unbelievable at the moment. Sanchez has to go long again. And this comes all the way back to Forster. Such a shame we let Sancho score that goal. Basuma just plays a bit of a lazy ball back to Forster there. And Forster kicks it straight. Udogie does really well there because he was under so much pressure. And he plays a horrible but little ball to Sonny. And Pape Matar is now under pressure as well. And there's a little tackle there from Caicedo that Sarr's gone down as if it was over the top of the ball. And it is a free kick to Spurs. Let's see this one again. That is exactly what happened to Christian Romero in this game last year. And Romero was sent off. And Jamie Carragher thinks this should be a sending off for Moise Caicedo. And it's been checked and cleared. And that shows the lack of consistency. Because last season, that's exactly what Romero was sent off for. But a good ball over the top now. And Sarr is putting Chelsea under some pressure. That's a corner. Wasn't even booked here, Caicedo, I don't think. And Jamie Carragher saying it's unbelievable. Anyway, Spurs have a corner. Son Heung-min is going to take it. Anthony Taylor, if that is the referee, I think it is, has been so lenient to Chelsea so far in this game. Okay, here comes Sonny with the corner. Oh, Spurs have hit the bar. Sarr right in front of Sanchez. What a brilliant delivery. And he should score. Got to be clinical, Spurs. That is the first time Spurs have been dangerous from a set piece in so long. Beautiful delivery from Sonny. "34 minutes gone. Sanchez again tries to go long, but misses. And Sonny's in here. Can he find someone? Oh, and Solanke had a great chance and couldn't sort his feet out. Sonny found Solanke about 3 yards out. That was a huge chance, and that all came from Sanchez. Bad kicking. And Chelsea now in on the right with Neto. Takes on Udogie, who's really strong. Well played, Udogie. Brilliant. Showed his pace and strength there. Sonny now. Finds Kulusevski down the line, who won't stop running. Oh, just tries to play the ball down the line, and it's blocked. And now Neto's back at Spurs again. Finds Enzo. That's a shame. Spurs could have been in down the right there, down the left there. Good tackle from Sarr. He's got to be careful, remember. Good ball into Cole Palmer. And a good tackle from Deki Kulusevski. Finds Sonny, who finds Udogie to Bissouma, who finds Son, takes a bad touch, and Palmer has it again. And now Chelsea are in down the left with Sancho. And someone's got to go and help out Pedro Porro here. And Johnson again being slow to help him. Gets there eventually. Edge of the box. Cole Palmer trying to win a penalty here, I think. Finds it out to Sancho. Neto is free at the back post if they can try and dig one out. Udogie is keeping an eye on him. Comes to Sancho again. Plays in Palmer to the byline. Huge chance. Good defending, Mickey van der Ven. And then Kulusevski didn't get a foot on it on the edge of the box, and Chelsea have the ball again as a result. Good pressure from Chelsea here. Finds Neto. Inside to Lavia. Comes backwards to Badiashile. And now Spurs trying to press, but it comes to the left again. The fans getting behind Spurs. This is some game at the moment. Cucurella. Colwell, and it goes back to Sanchez. Good defending from Spurs in the end there. Now it comes to the right again with Neto, and he's offside. He shouldn't be, looking across the line. I'm just showing the chance for Solanke. It just was fizzed at him, and he couldn't get his feet sorted out in time. Such a shame. Chelsea have won the ball in the central midfield again. Solanke putting the press on Badiashile. Sonny just dropping off here a little bit. Cucurella. Sancho takes on Porro, does well. Still Tottenham 2, Chelsea 1. Don't forget, guys, I will be going into the comments with a Q&A in halftime, so do get your questions in. Do like this video if you haven't liked it already, and subscribe to Chris Cowlin's channel and mine at Barnaby Slater _ for daily Spurs content. As Spurs put the press on Sanchez once again. And he's forced to go long, and it drops straight to Sarr, but a terrible touch from Pape Matar Sarr. But a good challenge from Yves Bissouma. Finds Udogie. Lovely stuff. Who cuts it inside to Kulusevski. There's a man on you there, Deki. He finds Udogie again. Oh, terrible ball from Udogie. And now Jackson's in and Neto's in on his right. And Van der Ven's got to get the afterburners on here. He's up against Neto. Neto finds Jackson. Shoots first. It's deflected wide for a corner, although I think Pedro Porro could maybe have worked harder to stop that corner from going off. There's just a lot of stuff going on in central midfield where, dependent on where a bouncing ball goes, either Spurs are in or Chelsea are in. It's a proper basketball game. Dragishin did well there to block that shot. 38 minutes gone. The Tottenham fans just throwing the bits of paper again. Yeah, just embarrassing. Enzo's going to take this corner. It's going to be an in-swinger. Here it comes. It's a good delivery, and it's a good clearance from Dominic Solanke at the near post, out for a throw-in. Chelsea do it quickly to Cole Palmer, who's bossing this game a little bit. Chelsea play it inside to Sancho, and it comes across to Caicedo, and will come to Badiashile. Sonny putting the press on, and now Neto wide right, fronting up Destiny Udogie again. Comes inside to Badiashile. Pressed by Sarr, so has to go backwards. And again, Chelsea playing some good stuff here, getting in down the left. But Sancho can't control it, and that's a throw into Spurs. Porro will take it. He's just taking his time. Finds Bissouma. Back to Porro. Dragoshin, a bit of a heavy touch, but finds Forster. He's going to have to find Mickey van der Ven quickly, and does. Now, who's an option for Mickey? Lovely to Son. Beautiful play from Spurs, and Udogie's got some space now in central midfield. Needs to find an option. He's running on his own there, and gives it away to Lavia. He was just trying to play it inside. It was a good chance for Spurs. They broke the press, but Lavia did make an important defensive run there, and as a result, Chelsea now coming through central midfield. There's so much tempo to this game. Chelsea playing it across their back line. Badiashile now. Oh, lovely ball through to Palmer, and Chelsea are in. Van der Ven is up against Jackson, and Van der Ven did enough. It was actually Dragoshin, sorry, did brilliantly. Does he actually get the tackle? He does, Dragoshin. And Dragoshin looks like he might be injured. It's just on his haunches. Chelsea with another corner. And Spurs fans throwing the bits of paper on the pitch again. It's so embarrassing, honestly. I just don't get it. Why do Spurs fans think this is funny? It's just not. It's embarrassing. Anyway, Cole Palmer's going to be with the in-swinging corner. And the refs now getting involved with players marking inside the box. Referee still talking now to Sonny, and I think it's Neto. What's going on in the box? Here comes the cross. And it's cleared at the front post again by Solanke, doing that great Harry Kane front stick work that Kane did for years for Spurs. Chelsea take the throw in quickly. Enzo goes back. Caicedo chips it back to Enzo. And they go all the way back to Sanchez. Good defending from Spurs. He finds Caicedo and he goes back, or he was going to go back to Sanchez, but Sonny kind of sold himself a bit early. And now they found Enzo down the right to Palmer, who cuts inside or tries to on his left. Udogie was in a good position there. Chelsea have it across their back line, bringing it to the left-hand side now with Cucurella. He finds Lavia in a lot of space. And again, that ball into central midfield is on every time for Chelsea. And now Palmer has it, and he finds Enzo wide right. Early cross from Enzo. Mickey van der Ven clears it. That'll be a corner. Jamie Carragher, Cocom's just talking about how Lavia looks like a real player. Well, they spent 100 million quid on him, didn't they? Probably. And Fernandez and everyone else. Anyway, it's another corner to Cole Palmer. Going to whip this one in. Here it comes. Oh, Forster was blocked a little bit there. Comes on the edge of the box to Lavia. Decky just working on him. Porro's got to stop the cross here. Doesn't even try. Palmer, 2 free at the back post for Chelsea. And now Cucurella on the edge of the box. Cucurella tries to shoot and it goes over the bar. 44 minutes gone. Don't forget, guys, at halftime, I will be getting into the comments. So send in any of your questions and your thoughts and we will talk about it. Mickey van der Ven now has it from Forster. He needs an option here, Mickey. He runs away from He runs away. Great strength from Van der Ven there to win it back after playing a bad pass. And Son plays a terrible pass into Pape Matar, and Chelsea are at Spurs, but Basuma helps his mate out there. Lavia now with the ball as well. Every second ball breaking to Chelsea at the moment. Neto, wide right. Yeah, Carragher just talking about how Spurs are naive at times. A cross comes all the way over to Sancho here. He might fancy a dig here. Doesn't. Johnson was helping out his mate that time. Palmer on the edge. Plays it into Neto, but he can't control it, and Forster has the ball. It'll be interesting to see how much added time. He's only found 2 minutes added time, which I'm really surprised at. There have been a lot of stoppages. Forster throws it out to Van der Ven, who gives it into Sarr. His touch is okay. Udogie chips it into midfield into lovely hold-up play from Solanke. Beautiful ball from Sonny now into Deki Kulusevski, who's running at Colwill. And he wants to find... Yeah, I knew he'd try and find that ball across to Johnson, but it goes straight down the goalkeeper's throat, unfortunately. But that was good play from Spurs. Yeah, Jamie Carragher giving a lot of credit to Dominic Solanke. Oh, Spurs nearly nicked it ahead of Lavia. Kulusevski nearly didn't. Lavia actually goes down, having beaten Kulusevski's press. And the free kick to Chelsea. And Carragher says this challenge doesn't look great from Kulusevski. Well, they can't send off Kulusevski for something like that after he didn't send off Caicedo. No, it's fine. There's nothing in that. It's a foul, but no more. What? I don't know what Carragher's talking about. VAR are looking at this. Nothing in it. I didn't see anything in that. I don't know what they're talking about. Chelsea start again. 15 seconds left of the added time. Neto goes back to Badiashile, who goes for the long one to Palmer. But it goes off. And that might be just that for this first half. Very interesting game. Such a shame we let Sancho score that second goal, but Chelsea have looked dangerous throughout this half. Udogie with a throw-in. And actually the referee does blow up for half-time. Tottenham Hotspur 2, Chelsea 1 in this Premier League game, and it's been a really, really great half. If you were a neutral, you'd be loving this game, absolutely loving it. But obviously, as a Spurs fan, it's a little more stressful to say the least. But yes, it's Chelsea 2. Tottenham Hotspur 2, Chelsea 1. And really, the scene was set very early in that first half when Spurs won the ball very high in the first minute of the game. And it went out to Johnson, who had his shot blocked for a corner. Then Chelsea made a chance in around the 3rd minute from a corner. Spurs, whose set-piece defending has looked all right this game so far. Dominic Solanke doing a lot of good work at the front post for corners and free kicks. But they did get a free header in the 3rd minute. But then Tottenham go 1-0 up in the 4th minute. The ball comes to Brennan Johnson on the right. He goes for the early cross. And Dominic Solanke made a beautiful little last-second run just inside to the near post of his marker. And on the half volley, beautifully roofs it to put Tottenham 1-0 up. In the 6th minute, Christian Romero got injured. He was rubbing his thigh. And I thought he should have gone straight off, but he tried to carry on. In the 8th minute, Spurs just showing time and time again. I've just made a note in the 8th minute. Just allowing Sanchez, the goalkeeper, to have the ball on his left-hand side and then pressing him, and he kept kicking it straight to us. In the 10th minute, Tottenham go 2-0 up. Beautiful stuff from Deki Kulusevski. Runs across the box after another Cucurella slip. I should say both goals caused by a Mark Cucurella slip. But Deki Kulusevski running across the 18-yard box and takes a shot with his left foot, hits it into the bottom right-hand corner. Sanchez definitely expecting Kulusevski to try and bend it into the far corner, and he couldn't get there. 12th minute, great play from Spurs, nearly found us a third. Udogie was in, hits his shot wide, although it wouldn't have counted because Son Heung-min was offside from an earlier phase of that play. Then in the 13th minute, so 5 minutes after Romero did his injury, he finally goes off. Looks like a thigh strain to me. Radu Dragoshin comes on. 17th minute, so 3 goals in the first 20 minutes. Jadon Sancho makes it 2-1 for Chelsea. The ball went out wide left to Jadon Sancho, and I was shouting at the screen, Brennan Johnson has to help out Porro. He has to help out. And Johnson makes kind of what I describe as a cursory defensive run to help out Porro, but allows Johnson to just cut in between him and Porro towards the edge of the box. And Sancho finds a beautiful finish in off the far post. But just too many occasions, that being the first of a few, where we've allowed Chelsea players to run at our box and take shots. 19th minute, Sancho threw something back into the crowd, which I don't think should have been allowed. Basically, Spurs had a tifo before the game, so lots of bits of paper in the south stand for people to hold up. And then all game, whenever Chelsea have had a corner, Spurs fans have been throwing those bits of paper at Chelsea players. And in the 19th minute, Sancho threw one of them back into the crowd. Now, I know it's only a bit of paper, but it's just not a good look. Back in the day, I remember, I'm pretty sure Jamie Carragher threw a coin back into the crowd, and he was sent off for that. Anyway, in the 20th minute, Sancho was in down the left, but a terrible final ball went over the bar. Then Decky Kulusevski beat Lavia for strength in central midfield, and Kulusevski was away, but Lavia got booked. And then at the end of the 20th minute, Chelsea got in down the left. I think it was Enzo at the byline, cuts it back. And just as it looks like Cole Palmer is going to finish it off to make it 2-2, he misses the ball with his left foot and it hits his standing foot. Spurs very lucky there. The 23rd minute, Spurs got themselves in a great position down the left. Sonny cutting in from his favoured left-sided position onto his right foot, tries to bend it into the far corner, as we've seen him do so many times, and it just goes over the bar. The 29th minute, Pape Matar got a booking. I didn't think he deserved it. In fact, Caicedo in the 32nd minute should have been sent off for a high challenge on Pape Matar. He wasn't even booked, and VAR deemed that it did not have enough force for it to be a red card. But for me, it was exactly the same as what Christian Romero did against Chelsea last season that he was sent off for. Exactly the same challenge. In the 31st minute, just 1 minute before that, though, two incredible saves down low for Fraser Forster. One from Cole Palmer down to his left, really important save. And then the rebound comes to Neto, and he has to get a big foot on the second one. Really impressive from Forster. Then, shock. Spurs looking dangerous from an attacking set piece. A beautiful delivery from Son Heung-min right on top of Sanchez. Pape Matar gets in front of him and should really score, but he hits the bar with it. Then in the 34th minute, Solanke missed a beautiful chance. Son Heung-min got to the byline, cuts it back, and he just fizzed it at Dominic Solanke's feet, and he couldn't quite get them sorted out in time. And unfortunately, it went straight into Sanchez. But that came again from Spurs pressing Sanchez and him kicking it straight to us. In the 40th minute, Nicholas Jackson with an amazing chance, one-on-one, put in by Palmer, but Radu Dragusin did amazingly to put him under pressure and get a slide and tackle on him, and it goes over the bar. And then 44th minute, Cucurella shot over the bar. They're just showing the replays now. So of the first goal, Cucurella just slips over 10 yards inside his half. Brennan Johnson running, and it's just a beautiful early cross and just that little move from Solanke in front of Levi Colwill. Top number 9 play. That is top number 9 play, and Dominic Solanke has been brilliant for Spurs so far in this game. He's just running into the box, and then as he knows Johnson's about to cross, just makes that little tiny Kane-esque run across the body of Levi Colwill. And honestly, you cannot coach that. I mean, you can literally tell people to do it, but it's instinct to know, to time it perfectly. And to say that the finish was not easy would be an understatement as well. On the half volley, and he gets enough on it so it goes into the roof of the net. I'm going to get into the comments now, guys. Get any questions that you have in. Brian Lamar says that was a red. Are you talking about the Kulusevski one? Because there was a challenge just at the end there where Jamie Carragher thought Kulusevski should have been sent off in the same way he thought Caicedo should have been sent off. But I didn't really see what happened. Can you let me know in the comments what happened with Kulusevski's that should have been a red? Because Lavia was holding his head. Does he elbow him in the head or something? I'm not really sure. Jack Ligros, thanks for writing in. He says, some of our passing is wayward at times, especially you, Doggy. They're just showing Kulusevski's goal. Beautiful, beautiful finish. Really, really fantastic. G. Moore says, this is what we've been missing when Solanke is out. Johnson has someone to aim for. Listen, Solanke's play today with his back to goal has been unbelievable. So Mickey van der Ven and Dragusin, they can dink the ball when they need to, when they're under pressure, into Solanke. And he's able to hold it up more times than not. Okay, Brian Lamar says, I was talking about the Caicedo one. Yeah, I completely agree. I do not understand why VAR did not get involved in that. It was high and it was reckless, to say the least. Dar D-Triple-C says, should we make changes? Not at the moment. Randint says, do you think Maddison should come on? Not quite yet. I think Spurs are making enough chances. It's a game of basketball. You'd think there'd be more goals in it. They're just showing the Sancho goal. He ran across the box himself, and then tell you what, it's a beautiful goal because he doesn't bend it. He actually kind of just kind of hits it like that. Beautiful goal. Nowhere else would that have gone in. It's in off the inside of the far post. No chance Fraser Forster there. Kev G says it was an elbow. Well, let's see if they show that. I'd be interested. They're just showing Sky Sports. Yes, just discussing how there were 2 red cards in last season's fixture. I don't think Kulusevski purposely elbowed him, though. Do you think? Let me know in the comments. Do you think that Kulusevski purposely elbowed him? Caicedo's was definitely a red, if you ask me. Jack Lagros says need more control of the ball. Sean says Sonny's passes are too hard and that Chelsea's passing is incredible. Twan Vo says, what changes do you recommend, if any? None at the moment, I'd say. I think just some little tactical tweaks maybe, but no big changes. G Moore says they have a lot more options on the bench, so I just hope we can find the energy to maintain the press on them. That's a really good point, G. Thanks for writing in. Yeah, you can't imagine that Spurs will be able to maintain this high press for the entire game. Kev G, lucky to be winning this game. Same open all hours play. Chelsea playing all through us. 2 hours from them, well punished by us. Listen, they are, when they get out of the press, Chelsea, they are finding passes into the kind of attacking midfield central area and really causing us a lot of trouble there. So that's what I'm talking about when I say tactical tweaks. Is there anything Ange can do to kind of fill that gap better? Red Kite 72 says, got to say, I think Chelsea fancy this still. Yeah, I think you're probably right. What else have we got here? Charles Preston says, we are much better without Maddison, much better. Whereas Randint says, I think Maddison should come on. He's an aggressive player and can help more on the attacks. And Charles also says, Yves Bissouma is the number one problem. Well, I think Bissouma's good on the ball, but he's not a natural defensive midfielder, is he? He's not someone who really kind of smells the danger. And that's something that we're really looking like problematic with at the moment. Rhythm 2671 said earlier, Barnaby, what's the crap they're throwing on the field about, mate? Yeah, just from the TIFO before the game. So they put a piece of paper on each seat in the south stand so it'll spell out Auder est faire, Tadere is to do. But then in the first half, because Chelsea had their corners there, the Spurs fans were enjoying throwing their bits of paper at Chelsea players. And I think it's all a bit ridiculous, frankly. But there you go. I guess the reality is they're at the game. They've been drinking all day, probably. Charles says, Barnaby, Bissouma was lazy on the Sancho goal. Well, yeah, listen, we didn't really put in enough effort to stop that from happening. But at the end of it, you do have to say that was a great, great finish. Get your questions in, guys. Please do give this video a like if you haven't already. Make sure you subscribe to Chris's channel at Chris Cowlin for daily Tottenham Hotspur content. Also, after this game, I will be doing a instant match reaction. After that, I'll be talking to some Spurs fans from around the world about how they felt this game went. And then at 7:30, Chris will be back with his usual Spurs chat podcast. And today, his guests are Craig Dearman, Terry Kim, and Richard Whitehead, MBE. Is that the first time Chris has had an MBE on the show? I don't know. Shane says Bissouma is lazy. You're right. Hansi G, though, says the boys look sharp. Anthony Can says Chelsea will destroy a second half if Ange doesn't change. Anthony, let me know in the comments what changes you would make. It's going to be a very interesting second half, that's for sure. Charles says Bissouma has no bite, as if he's smoking weed before the game. Okay. Guys, please do get your comments in. For me, I don't know. I said it, didn't I, when we went 2-0 up? It was hard to get too excited because Spurs are such a basket case. Like, there's no kind of confidence whatsoever that Spurs are going to win this game at the moment. However, I do think Tottenham will make chances, but Chelsea will definitely make chances too. Dragoshin has looked good since he's come on. Good news that Mickey van der Ven hasn't got injured as yet, but I said before the game, I thought it was a risk for Ange to rush back Romero and van der Ven, and, you know, like clockwork, Romero goes off in the first half. Randint says, Bissouma out, Maddison in. I don't think we can afford to do that. We need someone who's going to sit in front of the back four, and that's not James Maddison. Some real positives, though. I think Fraser Forster obviously had a great game. Dragoshin, like I said, has played well. Rex Yeep says score prediction. At the moment, I'm going to go with 3-3. Jay Noonan 61 says, I thought fans throwing things on the field was brilliant game strategy to give our players a breather before the corner so we didn't concede a goal in the last 5 minutes. I usually hate throwing on the field. Yeah, possibly. I don't think so. I think they're just drunk, probably. Brian Lamar says we miss Bentancur. Charles Preston says, how about Archie Gray on for Basuma? Yeah, I mean, I haven't seen enough of Archie Gray, to be fair, to know how he'd do in a game like this. But I think I know he has played as a 6 and he's played as an 8 and he's even played out on the wing for Leeds. So he's a very versatile player. He's the modern day, here's one for the older fans. He's a modern day David Howells. Really can play anywhere, DMA or anywhere down the spine of the team, basically. There have been a couple of bookings. Sarr has been booked and Lavia has been booked. So it'll be interesting if anything comes from either of those. And yeah, like I said, just no real confidence at the moment that we're going to win this game. But that's just based on my experience of Spurs in Chelsea games. Chelsea, it looks like, are going to make a change at halftime. They've got some players warming up on the pitch. It'd be interesting to see what Ange Postecoglou does, if anything. Charles says Son is off his game. I think he's looked certainly better than he has in the last couple of games. He just needed that one that he tried to bend into the far corner to be a bit lower, didn't we? Hansi G says we just need squad depth. Yep, that will come. Give us time. Give us time. Randint says Cray needs more time to get used to Spurs playing styles. Give him a year or so. Yeah, he's only 18 years old. He's only 18 years old. I just want Spurs to score 2. TSOM says SARS wasn't even a foul, let alone a booking. Yeah, it was a bizarre refereeing performance, I have to say. But maybe, listen, I've been complaining about the referee for the last few games, and maybe it's just because... Now, they're just going to show the red card options here. So Caicedo is chasing the ball and goes over the top into Sarr. Jamie Redknapp saying how lucky Caicedo is. He goes over the top of the ball. Then Caicedo pretends to be injured himself because he knows how much trouble he's in. Yeah, just saying how late he is. Oof. It's a horrible, horrible tackle. He doesn't even get booked for that. Now they're saying the Kulusevski one. I've just seen it. Yeah, Kulusevski kind of runs and at the last minute raises his elbow. It is a very dangerous challenge. Blimey on Lavia. I think Kulusevski is quite lucky there. Gusto is coming on for Chelsea in the second half. Randit says, love this chat. Cheers to you and Chris for this platform. No problem. Make sure you subscribe to Chris's channel if you don't already. Please do give this video a like and subscribe to my channel at Barnaby Slater _ on YouTube. Go there now. Give me a little subscribe. I'm trying to get to 12,000 subscribers. I'm only a couple of hundred away. Guillermo Vicario writing in the comments. Really appreciate that. It's Lavia who's gone off. So obviously that challenge from Kulusevski maybe concussed him a little bit. Guillermo Vicario writes in, says it's 2 a.m. for me. Good commitment. I love that commitment. But here we go with the second half. Spurs now kicking from left to right as we look at it towards our south stand. Let's hope they can pull in a goal. We've got to get to grips with Cole Palmer, though. What a player he is. He just glides around the pitch. He's so graceful. And we're giving him far too much time and space at the moment. Oh, I need to do the clock. There we go. Spurs now with Dragishin finding Forster. He's got Mickey van der Ven, but he goes long and kicks it out towards Sonny. And I didn't mind that at all from Forster, to be honest. He was being pressed pretty hard. Chelsea now playing it to Sanchez. Solanke again putting the press on him, and Sanchez has to go long. Porro wins the header, and it's a good header down the line. Johnson tries to flick it back to Kulusevski, who fouls Enzo. It goes out for a Chelsea throw. The referee doesn't give anything there. Cucurella with the throw. Well tackled by Pape Matar. Does well. Tries to turn his man. And loses the ball. And he went the wrong way there, Pape Matar. He did the hard work. And as a result, Chelsea got a big diag on over to Neto. And Neto is now running at Destiny Udogie. Disappointing from Pape Matar there. Neto using his pace, but Udogie in a good body position makes Neto go backwards. Sarr just jogging around the pitch a little bit here. Chelsea back into their back line now, bringing it across. Comes to Sancho. Oh, nutmegs Porro or Kulusevski, I think it was. And another big diag. Chelsea noting from the Roma game, I think, that we've really suffered at the hands of big diagonal crossfield balls, and that's what they've started the second half doing. Ball comes across to Badiashile. Plays it over to Cucurella. Porro's with him. Makes him go backwards to Badiashile into Enzo. So Caicedo has moved from right back into central midfield because of Lavia's going off. And Gusto has gone to right back and passes it back to Sanchez, who plays it past Solanke into Colwill. And they try and dink it over the top of Mickey van der Ven. And Jackson's in a good position, as was van der Ven, though. Does brilliantly. And then, unfortunately, loses it to Neto. And van der Ven's out of position now. And he's chasing Neto all over the pitch here. But Mickey gets back in. The ball comes across now to Sancho. We've got to stop across here. And Sancho's running at Chelsea, and it finds Cucurella. He cuts it back to Sancho. Oh, brilliant save from Forster. Huge save from Forster. Chelsea still have it, though. Sancho got into the box as wanted. They're in over the top here. Cole Palmer. Oh, and Forster comes out, and it's a corner. Anyway, the save, they got in down the channel. It's a little 1-2 from Sancho, between Sancho and Cucurella. Sancho comes in, gets it, and it's a big one hand. It's a corner to Chelsea. And it's going to be an in-swinger from Cole Palmer. 48th minute. Oof, came all the way across, and in the end, Nicholas Jackson with a free header at the back stick goes wide. Spurs playing down the left. Pape Matar. Good little challenge there between Sarr and Caicedo. And Caicedo, even though he's not as big as Sarr, comes out with the ball. And then plays a beautiful ball into Cucurella. Oh, and Porro tackles him, but unfortunately it bounces straight back to Cucurella. And now Sancho's got it. Another chance. Back to Cucurella. Tries to nutmeg the man. And Spurs now trying to play it out of their box. Naive play from Tottenham in their own box there. And now Chelsea have it again with Enzo. We could have just cleared our lines there. But Ange doesn't want us to. So Chelsea are going to have another chance. Comes to Sancho on the left-hand side. Johnson blocks the pass. Frustrating. And that's what Carragher was saying in the first half, how naive Spurs can be defensively when playing it out of their box. Now Chelsea playing it across their back line. Gusto into Palmer. Taking up some good positions in the half space. Plays it back to Gusto. He plays a good ball into Cucurella, who's really inverting a lot this half. And now Chelsea are in down the right with Neto. And he crosses it with his left foot. Good clearance from Dragishin. But Chelsea recycle it again. There's good pressure from Chelsea at the moment. Badiashile to Gusto. Wide right now with Neto. Fronting up Destiny. Show him the line. No, he crosses it on his left foot and it comes over Porro, who gets his head on it and is then out-muscled. But then he out-muscles Sancho. Does really well, Pedro Porro. He plays it down the line to Kulusevski, who does really well on the half turn. They want a foul, but they're not getting one. And now Kulusevski is running at Chelsea, and Johnson's going with him. And over in the at the top is Dominic Solanke and Son Heung-min. Oh, Kulusevski tried the outside of the football to Solanke, and it goes straight to the keeper. And now Chelsea are on the transition. Palmer to Enzo, and Sancho's in on the left. It comes all the way across, cuts it back, and Spurs clear. And Sancho's in down the left again here. And there's going to be a chance for a shot. Enzo. Just wide. It's just wide from Enzo from just outside the box. Forster had it covered. 51 minutes gone and Spurs under pressure, to say the least, at the moment. And Brennan Johnson has gone down. Timo Werner is coming on. How many injuries? How many injuries? Looks like it's a muscle injury for Brennan Johnson. I don't know. Maybe it's not a muscle injury. I don't know, but he just looks unhappy. And this is where our injuries and the squad depth is really troubling us because, you know, Timo Werner, it would be an amazing story if he could score against his former club, but he's no Brennan Johnson. Different player. Be interesting to see where he plays, actually. The Spurs kick it long. Solanke tries to hold it up ahead of Colwell, but Colwell does well this time. And Gusto has it now. Werner does start on the right, actually, with Son staying on the left. Werner now pressing the keeper well. Solanke helping him out. And Basuma wins a throw-in off Cole Palmer. Cole Palmer's having a go at the referee. 53 minutes gone. Spurs go down the line. And another throw into Spurs. Some good hold-up play from Dominic Solanke there. Just so many injuries Tottenham have at the moment. Madness. The fans trying to get behind Spurs now. 82% possession to Chelsea in this second half. Caicedo and Pape Matar is having a little bit of a set two in the box. Come on, Pape. We need you in this game, mate. Okay. Throw to Sonny. Oh, he goes down the byline, Sonny. Oh, twice. Beautiful stuff in a tight space from Sonny there, but it's kicked out of play for throwing. 54 minutes gone. Spurs just need to get a little bit of a handle on this game. Come on, throw it to Basuma. Throw it to Basuma. He doesn't. It goes down the line to Werner. It's a very difficult ball for Werner to take there. In the end, it goes out for a Chelsea throw in their right back position. Don't forget, guys, after this game, I'll be doing an instant match reaction. Then I'll be speaking to Spurs fans from around the world about their feelings on the performance. And then Chris Cowlin at 7:30 will be back on his channel with the Spurs Chat podcast. Make sure you tune in for that later on. As Spurs press Chelsea all the way back, and the ref gives a foul against Pape Matar in exactly the same kind of situation that Dominic Solanke has been fouled so many times like that, and the ref doesn't give it. Chelsea are going to go long. Sanchez going to kick this long. Free kick in the right back position. Here it goes. It's a big old kick. Dragishin's underneath it being pushed. Actually, Chelsea and then Spurs, two Spurs players just headed each other basically there. It's a bit of lack of communication in midfield. And Sanchez now has it to Badiashile. And Chelsea now playing the big long ball over to Pedro Neto. Udogie's in a good position, kicks it off for a corner. And Chelsea are going to do it quickly. Yeah, they do it quickly. And Spurs weren't really... Spurs were watching a little bit there. And here, they're outside the box now with Gusto. Has a dig. Good save, Forster. Tipped wide. Chelsea massively on top at the moment. They've taken the corner short again. Spurs have to get out of their box. Beautiful play down the right from Chelsea. And great block at the front post from Dominic Solanke as the cross comes in. They were in at the byline. Beautiful corner play from the training ground from Chelsea there. Tottenham just turned off. Gusto is in down the right at the byline, and it's just a really great block from Solanke. Cucurella complaining in the box. The referee getting involved again. Udogie and Cucurella. Basically, Spurs seem to be man-marking a lot more stringently than they have been earlier this season, certainly against Bournemouth, and just really getting in the faces of the Chelsea players. Here comes the corner. Forster comes for this one. Good man. Now, Chelsea players trying to get in his way. And Forster goes long to Kulusevski. Kulusevski won't have the pace for this against Gusto, but don't foul him, Decky. That was never, ever a foul. And honestly, all he did was literally put an arm on him. And Gusto fell on the floor and the ref gives a foul. It's ridiculous. Ange can't believe it on the bench. He cannot believe that that's been given as a foul. Right, Chelsea play the ball again. Out wide right now. And Bissouma intercepts well there. Can he give an easy ball? Oh my God, Bissouma. What was he doing? And now Chelsea are in because Bissouma had done the hard work. Neto wants a shot here. Oh, he's gone too far maybe, Neto. And it comes across now to Sancho. But Neto continued and Timo Werner did well and cleared it. But then very luckily, Chelsea got it back again. Sancho now in on the left against Werner, who looks like he really wants to foul him. Chelsea. Oh my God, Bissouma is an absolute fucking idiot. He's given away a penalty. Just after that entire attack came because of him. His mistake led to the attack. Tottenham are going to lose this game, and it's because of stuff like this. And people who say like Ange out or whatever, how can he account for stuff like this? How can he account for Bentancur being racist and therefore getting suspended? So Bissouma has to play every game. Bissouma now misses the game against Southampton because that's his 5th booking. Cole Palmer's going to take the penalty. Just Bissouma, you absolute idiot. Just like, honestly, I'm not surprised. That's the thing. There's no surprise. Like, he had done the hard work in midfield. He intercepted a pass. And then instead of just giving an easy pass, he tries to take it round a man, loses the ball. Chelsea then driving at the Tottenham defence. Then he chases all the way back and just dives in. And he's so far away from getting the ball. And there's no need for him to dive in. It's just fucking, I say it all the time, but brain dead. Absolute brain dead player. Not good enough. Not good enough. Cole Palmer's going to take and score this penalty, I'm sure. Come on, Fraser Forster. Here it comes. He scores. Two, half an hour to go. Chelsea have been in the ascendancy the second half. Spurs, basket case. Basket case of a club at the moment. When we went 2-0 up, all I thought was there's only one club who can ruin this from here. Now we just need the fans to get behind us somehow. Find a way for us to now put Chelsea under some pressure. Van der Ven. Son. Goes back to Van der Ven. Has to turn away, but Jackson's got the keeper. Keeper's going to have to go long here. And he does, into central midfield. Badiashile. Oh, Chelsea just first to everything at the moment. Porro gets the ball down. Does well. Finds Kulusevski. Going to need performance from Decky now. Drops it into Werner. Finds Basuma, who's going to have to... Lovely ball from Porro to Werner. To Decky. Tries to play it in behind Badiashile to Werner, but there wasn't enough on it. And now Chelsea break away down the left with Sancho. To Enzo. And Kulusevski just stops, and Enzo plays the big ball over the top to Neto, who doggies with him again. And Udogie fouls him again. Oh, now Neto's pretending to be injured. Palmer takes it. Spurs haven't really made a chance this half yet that I can remember. Lovely ball from Palmer in behind Udogie. Neto cuts on his left and then turns Udogie again, but Udogie gets a foot in and he goes out for throw-in. Throw it back. Colwill to Badiashile. 2 more injuries for Spurs in this game. Just laughable. Sancho on the left. Spurs pressing him back. And a bad ball is intercepted by Decky. Plays it into Solanke, just with a terrible attempted kind of back heel touch. Lose it to Chelsea. But Basuma wins it well. Now, just do it easy, Eve. And he kicks it off the pitch when trying to find Werner. And Ange is so frustrated at Basuma, you can see. Colwill. Chelsea happy to play it back along across their back line. Good stuff from Dragusin. Blocks out a ball and finds Werner on the right. He's on his own here, Werner, running into the box. Goes to the byline and then loses the ball. Wow, that was awful. Stand up. Pedro Porro does really well there. And as does Radu Dragusin. That's better. That's what we need from Spurs now. Come on, we need to win our individual battles a bit more. Van der Ven just running across the pitch. Finds Sonny, who's got Gusto at his heels, but does well. Now Sarr in midfield. Come on, Spurs. Let's get a hold of this game a little bit. Let's put them under a bit of pressure. Dragusin has had a good game. Finds Werner. Finds Pedro Porro inside. Porro tries to play it into Kulusevski. Sonny's upset because he wanted the ball at the far stick. Porro with the throw. Spurs looking leggy again, as we have so often recently. Werner and Kulusevski in exactly the same space. No options. No one's making a run for him. Porro eventually finds Werner. And it's another Spurs throw. Porro into Solanke. Holds it up well into the corner. Can you win a corner here? Keeps it on. Chelsea play it around. Sancho clears. And well done, Mickey van der Ven, who gets it back to Forster. Forster finds Dragusin. He has to go back to Forster, who goes first time to Van der Ven, who's on the wrong side here. Good press from Chelsea here. Forster's going to have to go long to the halfway line. Tries to dink it into Kulusevski, loses it. And Chelsea now space in midfield with Caicedo. Chelsea just a bit smarter than Spurs tactically at the moment. Badiashile to Colwill. Tottenham have not come out in this second half at all. Chelsea have made a tweak or two that's really helped them dominate this game. Palmer tries to play it in between the lines, but it's blocked by Kulusevski. Solanke now pressing Palmer, who turns him very easily, and referee gives a foul. Colwill out wide right. Neto back to Gusto. Back to Colwill. He's going to go back to Sanchez, who's miles out of the side of his box and gets pressed by Solanke, but goes for the big one over Porro's head. And Porro... Sancho was offside. I think Porro knew it. Maresca, got to say, is doing a good job at Chelsea. Very difficult position he was put in. I mean, a lot of amazing players, of course, but is there anything that Tottenham can do on the bench, from the bench? Cole Palmer just looking like he's got a little bit of a knock there. Maresca talking to Sancho on the sideline. He's calling for João Felix, I think, to come on for Palmer. Yeah, he's got a limp on here, Cole Palmer. What happened? Does he just get a little stamp on his foot accidentally from Solanke? Yeah, he does. He's trying to run it off though, Palmer. Porro back to Dragishin, who finds Forster. Forster finds Van der Ven on the left. He plays it into Son. He gives him a good position. Son plays it into Solanke, tries to dink it over to Doggy. He's miles offside. But if he leaves it, Son's on. Sonny's on here. Sonny's in as well. And he hits it wide. Really surprised Son missed that. You've seen him score those so many times. Jamie Carragher was saying how livid he would have been if that had counted. "68 minutes gone. Tottenham 2, Chelsea 2. Sonny has just missed a golden chance for Spurs that I don't think should have counted if it would have gone in anyway, but might have, not sure. Basuma losing battles in central midfield here, but Sarr's done well. And Spurs are in down the left. Spurs were potentially in down the right with Werner there, but he took a bad touch. But the ref has brought it back for a foul in midfield on Spurs players. Dragishin. He goes for a big one into the gap. Porro, it's a lovely ball and a good run from Porro. He's dinked it to the back post. Beautiful. Comes all the way to Son. Oh my God. And the ref's given a foul in the box against Solanke when it really wasn't. Deary me. Colwill on the floor. Beautiful play from Porro. First time cross. Oh my God. Oh, just embarrassing refereeing. Absolutely embarrassing refereeing. Colwill's just thrown himself to the ground in the box. Chelsea now to Cucurella. And the press is a little bit off now from Spurs. Oh, and a huge tackle from Van der Ven. Finds Porro. Does well to find Werner. Finds Kulusevski on the right, though. Needs help. Does well to get it onto his left here, Decky. But he's totally on his own. And he wins a foul when it probably shouldn't be. But he did really well there, Kulusevski. And this is a dangerous area for Spurs. Yeah, he just pulls his shirt. And in the end, Kulusevski has to fall on the floor to get the free kick because the ref wasn't going to give it. Anyway, so it's a free kick in the kind of inside right position, just outside the corner of the box. Porro is standing on it. Spurs sending players forward. "20 minutes to go. Chelsea absolutely the better team in this game, but are only level because Yves Bissouma is an absolute idiot. And now the fans getting behind it. Can Spurs put in a good delivery here and make a good chance? Come on. I don't think we've won a game playing badly this season, have we? In fact, I can't remember the last time we did. Here comes Porro. Just don't dink it into the keeper's arms, Pedro. Oh, it's a free header for Mickey van der Ven. It's wide. And Chelsea play it out. Press on Cucurella now. Porra stops the pass out. Cucurella with the throw. Into Enzo. Sorry, it's Sancho. And it just bounces off Solanke, unfortunately, for throwing. Enzo is going to look for a foul. Oh, a beautiful play from Enzo, and he's in down the left. And now Sancho's inside him. Spurs players just diving on the floor here. But Sancho is held up at least. And Caicedo nutmegs Dominic Solanke. Chelsea playing some good stuff. It's wide right now with Neto, who finds Palmer. You've got to stop the cross here, boys. Doggy. Palmer gets round you, Doggy. Turns him. Beautiful play from Palmer. Oh, my God. Oh, and it falls. Falls for Fernandes. Just Spurs just absolutely standing off Chelsea. It's just embarrassing. 3-2. Palmer just got it around 3 or 4 players, and cross gets deflected into Fernandes, who volleys it left foot into the bottom corner. And it's nothing that Tottenham don't deserve. Been absolutely appalling this half. They don't believe in themselves. Whenever they face adversity, they can't handle it. Time and time again, we've seen, and I'm telling you, we're walking Ange Postecoglou into problems. Because now it will start to get toxic in this ground. It will start to get toxic in this ground, and Maresca's loving it. But you know what happens when Spurs play Chelsea? Like, even if you go 2-0 up, you know what happens. $15 minutes to go. Now, can Spurs show any mettle at all? What I'll say is, a lot of the times when we've been down in positions like this, the last 10 minutes or so have been absolute dross. We've done nothing. Carragher is talking about how often Spurs shoot themselves in the foot, and it's true. And Jackson now trying to get Van der Ven sent off, I think. Jackson literally just ran into the back of Van der Ven. Dives on the floor. Chelsea bringing on Nkunku, who'll probably score. Nicholas Jackson coming on. Sorry. Just so frustrating. Always happens against Chelsea. It's just so frustrating. This result will leave Tottenham in 13th place, I believe. Is that right? Or maybe 11th? I love Ange. I think we've got to stick with him, but I don't think that necessarily means we will. And they've cut to Levy. Of course they have. Chelsea have just been far too good this half. Oh, beautiful ball. They're in 3-on-2 now, Chelsea here. They should score. Comes to Sancho at the back post. And it's brilliantly defended by Pedro Porro. No, and Carragher saying that Van der Ven's done his hamstring. Van der Ven's off. Van der Ven's injured again. This is just a joke this season. They're doing it as if it might be cramp. Bergvall, Maddison and Gray about to come on. Yeah, just hoping that Mickey van der Ven's is cramp. Please do give this video a like if you haven't already, guys. Do subscribe to Chris's channel and to my channel at Barnaby Slater _ for daily Spurs content. Sorry if it sounds depressing, but this game has been depressing. Just never felt any feeling that it would get us a win, to be honest. Even when we were 2-0 up, you've just seen it too many times. Seen it far too many times. Now, usually Madders is getting taken off with 10 minutes ago, but now he's coming on. But Kulusevski's been taken off. Why can't you just keep some creativity on the pitch? Suma's come off. Problem with, well, one of many problems about Bazuma is he just looks like he doesn't really give a shit. He's so laid back. In fact, that's what was being said in the comments at half time, wasn't it? They were saying that he'd had a bad game, and then he just did that. What an absolute tool. Anyway, corner to Chelsea, 79 minutes gone. Oof. It's cleared at the front post by Pedro Porro. Another corner to Chelsea. Like I said, Spurs just all season when we faced adversity like this, we've bottled it. And I don't expect us probably even to make a chance in this last 10 minutes or so. Chelsea will just be comfortable, probably score again. Here comes another corner, cleared at the near post. Archie Gray with a second clearance. Neto wins it ahead of Maddison, and Chelsea recycle the ball to the halfway line. Palmer just plays it over the top. It comes through to Forster. So now Archie Gray is playing centre half with Radu Dragusin. Bergvall in central midfield with Sarr. Dragusin under pressure. His pass is blocked by Nkunku. Porro to Archie Gray. Into Dragusin. He has to go long. And Solanke's easily beaten, but Pape Sarr, that was foul. Pape Sarr won it in midfield, but he was fouled, but it wasn't given, obviously. Sancho now in down the left. Chelsea just toying with Spurs here. Goes back to Sanchez. Solanke is pressing him at least. And he easily plays it out to Gusto. Good press from Sonny. And Sanchez has to go long. Dragusin doesn't win the header, but kind of doesn't need to. It drops to Porro. He plays a dink over the top to Werner. He's in a lot of space here. But then he allows Cucurella to come back, and it's a corner. I don't know why he did let Cucurella come back instead of just going straight to the byline. Anyway, it's a corner. We did make a chance from a corner in the first half. Pape Sarr heading one over the bar. Porro's delivering this one. It's an outswinger. Oh, delivery comes all the way through to Sonny at the far post. who is out-muscled by Neto far too easily. And Chelsea are in now, 3-on-2. Sarr is back. Archie Gray's working hard to get back. Dragusin's working hard to get back. Now Cole Palmer is in on the inside right position. Stand up, Pape Matar. Oh, and he's given a penalty away. He's going nowhere, Palmer. What is Sarr doing? I said at the beginning of the game that the Spurs players were playing for Big Ange, but some of the decision making, they're going to get him sacked. Yeah, Carragher just saying if an academy player made a decision like that, he'd be pulling his hair out. Chance for Chelsea to make it 4-2. I would guess that Palmer will go the same way. Oh, he dinks him down the middle. Wasn't it 4-2 in this game last season as well? Nothing more than Tottenham have deserved, especially with the second half performance. Absolutely embarrassing second half. Just absolute bottle jobs, the lot of them. Absolute bottle jobs. Oh, Enzo's livid about something. "86 minutes gone." Should have sent off Caicedo in the first half, but the referee bottled it. So bringing on Madueke. Tottenham have Southampton next, who are in terrible form, but guess what will happen there? Well, I've got Rangers before that, Thursday night. Jesus Christ. Rangers will be so up for that. Deary me. Deary me. Let me know in the comments. Is Ange going to survive this? I just don't know. I don't think there's anyone else, is there? Just... It's interesting that Carragher now on co-coms is talking about Ange's inability to, or refusal to change. Tottenham have played low block today, basically, and counter attack. So that doesn't fit. Bergvall. Timo Werner. It's been so poor since he came on. Bergvall to Archie Gray. To the doggy. Finds Sonny out wide left. Plays it into Madders. Tries to get it across to Solanke, but no dice. Throw in Spurs. Three minutes left of normal time. Dragishin. Plays it across to Werner. Plays it inside to Porro. Gives it back to Werner. Half decent touch from him, but loses the ball. And Chelsea have it with Sancho. And they're just toying with Spurs. And I said it, didn't I, when Spurs went 3-2 down, that Tottenham wouldn't make a chance. And that's how it's been. And Enzo goes through Porro in central midfield. Chelsea just knocking it about. Also, of course, 2 more injuries today for Spurs. 2, maybe 3, actually. Brennan Johnson. Dragishin tries to play over the top to Werner. It's easily cut out. Sancho's had a good game here, I have to say. Maresca's got him playing. Chelsea just olaying it about in the last minute of this game. Oh, Werner's won it high. Gives it into Solanke, but can't get it out of his feet. And it's blocked. Has a shot that's blocked in the end. And that was a good chance for Spurs. Chelsea just making 2 more substitutions now. Felix. Palmer will be man of the match, of course. Seven minutes added time, I think. Yeah. That's why when we went 2-0 up, I didn't really celebrate. Because we're bottle jobs. We can't handle adversity. We're so many men short of what we need. Bergvall. Great cross from Bergvall into Sonny, who then plays an absolute horror show of a ball, and Felix is now on the break. Pedro Porro does well against Felix, brings the ball back, and then is fouled. Porro's put a shift in. Tottenham, Man United, and Newcastle this season, man. Absolute bin fire in the mud, all terrible. Chelsea are in down the right here again. Madueke running at Archie Gray. Good luck, Archie Gray, I'd say. Yeah, Madueke beats him easily. And in the end, between Gray and Bergvall, they managed to get it out for a throw-in, for a goal kick. Sorry, well played. Gray coming out with it, but no options at all. Dragishin down the line to Werner, who is fouled. Be interesting to hear the Spurs fans' reactions after this in the ground. Werner plays a horrible ball. And Chelsea cut it out easily. Caicedo out to Madueke. Spurs just going through the motions here. Forster claims it as they tried to play Madueke in. Good ball from Bergvall out to Werner, who cuts inside his man quite easily. Now needs an option. Does. Finds Maddison. Good play from Madders. Over the bar. Some regards for ex-boss McCoppy, the current malaise. Let's mirror what happened last year when after a clean start, Spurs hit the buffers with a 5-point. Just a reminder, I'll be doing an instant match reaction after this game, and then I'll speak to some other Spurs fans from around the world about how pissed off they are as well. And then Chris will be back with the Spurs Chat podcast at 7:30 p.m. So do tune into that. And on that show, he will have Craig Dearman, Terry Kim, and Richard Whitehead. Doggy being pushed back, goes back to Forster. He's had another good game, Fraser Forster. Nothing he could have done about any of it. Solanke does well there to win the ball. Gives it to Bergvall, gets it trapped under his feet. Turns. Plays a nice ball out wide left. Maddison into Son. Son into Porro, who's fouled but not given, turns away, finds Werner. Could have found Bergvall but doesn't, cuts inside and plays a good pass. Oh, and it's a good save from Sanchez. Sonny. It's actually some good football from Spurs there, and we did create a chance, so that was nice. Porro doing well in midfield here, running at them, and is fouled. This is a chance for Maddison or Porro to have a dig. They're going to have to do it quickly, though. Got to be smart here, Spurs. There's literally only 3 minutes added time, so try and do this quickly. Son just did well, and Sanchez, by the time he has his shot, Sanchez is right next to him. Son wanted a penalty, but wasn't given. Porro wants to take the free kick himself, but we just got to do it quickly, if anything. Oh, actually, Maddison wants it. But like, we're literally using all of our own time. It's so embarrassing. Like, the ref's trying to line up the wall, sure, but like, because it's taking so long, even if we did score, which of course we won't, looks like it is going to be Porro. Hits the wall. Oh, follow-up goes wide. My malaise, I think, sums it all up. Don't you think? Like, just not surprised. Like, wasn't surprised that we lost against Bournemouth. Not surprised by any of this at the moment. Seen this story so many times with Tottenham. Just an inability to face adversity, and I think there'll be a lot of boos when this ends, and it will be quite ugly. Maddison gets to the byline. Sonny scores. 4-3. James Maddison got to the byline and no one went towards him. And in the end, he picks out Sonny, who finishes it well on the first time with the inside of his boot. But it's all too little, too late. Because we've got 40 seconds left of added time. And the ref's waiting. Is there a VAR check for something? Carragher's just said, Tottenham are the great entertainers. They'll never win anything, but you'll enjoy yourself watching them. Ball goes back to Sanchez. And it's gone 97 minutes now. Archie Gray up for a header. Does well. But it bounces to Chelsea player. Chelsea just kick it long. Goes over Doggy's head. Can Spurs make one attack here? Doggy driving with the ball down the left. Gives it into Bergvall. Bergvall tries the big old diag to Werner. Porro. Werner cuts inside. Needs help here. Oh, he dinks it up towards the far post. It's not bad, actually. Not a bad ball from Werner. That'll be that. But it was just ahead of Sonny. It was a great little bent left-footed ball from Werner, you know. That's a shame. That would have been a moment in time, actually. Sanchez taking his time. Sanchez getting booked now. Into the 99th minute now. Sanchez, his 4th booking of the season. The ref's letting it play on a little bit. And Dragusin wins the free kick. And then Sarr just does a mental up and under. Oh, Porro does well there in central midfield. And that's the end. Tottenham Hotspur 3, Chelsea 4. And a very, very depressing situation. Hi guys, this is my instant match reaction to the Chelsea 3, Tottenham Hotspur 4. That's not right. Sorry, I'm just completely so annoyed and just ran up. This is my instant match reaction to the Tottenham Hotspur 3, Chelsea 4 Premier League defeat at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. And as you can probably hear from my voice, I'm just so kind of... my malaise is so strong because I'm just not surprised. Tottenham got 3 more injuries in the game. Both Romero and Van der Ven and Johnson all went off. We were 2-0 up at the beginning of the game. It's just the most kind of... you can't write this stuff. You know, like this is only Tottenham can do this stuff. And of course, Sky are cutting to Daniel Levy. And he will have his trigger finger itching right now. He will be wondering whether he should sack Ange Postecoglou because he'll be seeing that top 4 is more or less gone. We're still in the cup competitions. Is there a possibility to try and get someone in to change it around? But I just don't look out there and think there really is. And I have to say, time and time again now in the Premier League, we are being out-tacticked by other managers. Maresca gave us a lesson today, especially in the second half. You know, first 10, 15 minutes, we were all over them. 2-0, maybe we needed a third. But even if we'd got a third, I think we would have lost the game. And Chelsea just in the second half absolutely dominated Tottenham, absolutely dominated Spurs. And we got what we deserved. And in the end, you know, Sonny scores a third for Spurs with one of the last kicks of the game. And we nearly make a chance to make it 4-4, but it wouldn't have been deserved. It wouldn't have been anything that Tottenham Hotspur deserved from that game. And time again, this team show that when adversity comes, they fall on the floor. Yves Bissouma. I'm going to start just with Yves Bissouma. I've said this all season and pretty much throughout his entire Spurs career. Yves Bissouma can do the hard things so brilliantly. But when it comes to the easy things, he's an idiot. Like, he's a complete idiot. And I'll give you the perfect example. The penalty he gave away, he had intercepted a ball on the halfway line, and all he has to do is play an easy 5-yard ball to someone. But instead, he tries to take it around a man. He loses the ball. They run at our back line, and we end up somehow getting bodies in the way. And then from nowhere, Bissouma comes sprinting into the box and takes out their player, and it's a penalty. And they equalise. How is Big Ange supposed to account for that? I mean, you can say, well, don't play him. All right, play Rodrigo Bentancur. Oh, no, you can't, because Rodrigo Bentancur decided to be racist in the summer about Son Heung-min, so he's out. Like, you can't account for this stuff. And yeah, there are lots of things that Ange isn't getting right at the moment, but also maybe this is just the reality of having a young squad, that they're just making idiotic mistakes all the time. and not able to fight back when adversity calls. But it's just an ugly time to be a Spurs fan. It feels very much like end of days. It feels very much like it did when, you know, Sherwood was there and we lost a few on the spin and he came out fighting, saying how Tottenham didn't have the minerals for it. And when Conte had his rant at Southampton, it feels like that again. And you would not be surprised, would you? But what does he do? Sack him and bring in Ryan Mason? It's not Ange's fault. And I know a lot of you will say it. And the reality is things do trickle down from the top. So, you know, the mentality of the club does trickle down from the top. And it does. And I agree with that. But we're not getting rid of Daniel Levy. He owns the club. He literally owns the club. He is a shareholder in the club, one of the majority shareholders. So we're not getting rid of him. So all that's going to potentially happen, realistically, is Levy's going to sack Ange, bring in Ryan Mason. And for what? I don't know. In terms of the game, I'll talk you through it briefly. First minute, we won the ball up high. We were good in the first 15, 20 minutes, pressing really high, winning the ball up. Johnson had a shot blocked, free header from a corner then for Chelsea in the 3rd minute. Solanke scores to make it 1-0. Beautiful cross from Brennan Johnson, who then later got injured. And Solanke with a perfect bit of number 9 work, getting across his marker, and a great volley on the half volley. So a great finish on the half volley. Then Romero gets injured in the 6th minute, but in classic Romero style, tries to stay on the pitch. Spurs were doing some good pressing in that first 10 minutes, especially against Sanchez, and Deki Kulusevski makes it 2-0 in the 10th minute. Should have had a third maybe in the 12th minute, but Udogie hit it wide, although it probably would have been offside anyway. Then 5 minutes after his injury, Romero finally goes off. Dragusin comes on. Sancho makes it 2-1 in the 17th minute. For me, Brennan Johnson didn't work hard enough to help out Pedro Porro on the right. He just didn't work hard enough. And as a result, Sancho gets his shot off, and it's a great shot in off the far post. Then Chelsea really started to get in control. Sancho got in down the left with bad final ball. Then Kulusevski gets Lavia booked in central midfield, and Palmer has an air shot, which he really should have scored from 8 yards out. That was in the 20th minute. So much going on. Just a classic Chelsea game at Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. Sarr got booked in the 29th minute. Then Fraser Forster had another great game. 2 huge saves after half an hour. One from Palmer and then from the rebound from Pedro Neto. Caicedo, this is maybe like the really key part of the game. 32nd minute. Caicedo does the exact same challenge that Christian Romero did in last year's game against Chelsea. The exact same, over the top of the ball, into the ankle with force. Doesn't even get booked. Doesn't get sent off. VAR, look at it, say no excessive force. That is the turning point in the game, in the same way of the turning point in the game where Lucic should have been sent off against Fulham. So refereeing going against us. And that's what happens when things are bad and your confidence is low and the manager's under pressure. The refereeing starts going against you as well. Everything does. And we're right in that moment at the moment. 33rd minute, Sarr hit the bar from a header from a Sonny corner. Again, things not going for us. Solanke missed a great chance from a Sonny cutback in the 34th minute, but couldn't get his feet sorted out. And that came from yet another terrible kick from Sanchez from us pressing him. Then Nicholas Jackson had a one-on-one in the 40th minute. Dragusin did amazingly. He had a good game as well, Dragusin, and that he tackled it out for a corner. And then that was kind of half-time. Second half, Chelsea just came out, absolutely battered us. I'm sorry. Let me know if you think any differently in the comments, but Chelsea absolutely battered us. 48th minute, a huge save from Fraser Forster from Jadon Sancho. Big reflex hand to his left from the inside left position. And then from the corner, Jackson had a free header, gets it wide. 50th minute, Spurs are in down the right. Kulusevski, see what he's trying to do. He tries to play it with the outside of his left foot into Solanke. But because that's quite a high percentage pass, it goes straight to Sanchez. And that was actually a better chance than you'd think. And then Chelsea nearly scored straight from that break. A shot from Enzo went just wide. Brennan Johnson goes off injured in the 51st minute. Werner comes on. Werner, I'm afraid, appalling again today. Absolutely appalling when he came on. Forster then tipped a long shot wide from Gusto in the 56th minute. Chelsea absolutely on top. Solanke got a great block in when they were in down the right, get to the byline, and Solanke really did brilliantly to block that. Otherwise, it would have been an absolute goal without a doubt. Basuma in the 58th minute did what he did for the penalty. His mistake leading to their attack and then just sliding in and taking out the player. 2-2. Palmer scores the penalty, sending Forster the wrong way. 67th minute, and Spurs had their best chance. Should have made it 3-2. Son Heung-min one-on-one. Would have been a controversial one because Udogie was definitely offside and interfering with play, but the ref didn't call it back. And Son basically has a one-on-one from the inside left position, hits it wide. And that, for me, I'm sorry, it just shows that Sonny is slightly off it at the moment. He's lost something because his finishing was always what he was absolutely elite at, but that's gone as well at the moment. 69th minute, Chelsea player kind of being professional, just throwing himself to the ground in the box when we had a chance. That was Colwill. Free header from Van der Ven just behind him from a Porro free kick in the 70th minute. Then Chelsea go 3-2 up in the 73rd minute. Palmer beats about 4 players in the box. Spurs unwilling to tackle him, and the ball breaks to Fernandes, volleys in beautifully. I hate to say it, but it was a great finish. Could have been more. Could have been 4-2 in the 76th minute. Great defending from Porro to stop Sancho. Then Van der Ven gets injured in the 77th minute, as if life couldn't get any worse. Sarr then gives away an absolutely ridiculous penalty in the 82nd minute. Palmer dinks it, taking the piss out of us. 4-2. Solanke had a good chance in the 89th minute, blocked. Then Maddison over the bar in added time, and a good save from Sanchez from Sonny. And then Sonny made it 4-3 from the Maddison cutback, but it was too little, too late. And I'm sorry, guys, but I really don't have a lot of positivity to say. I really don't. And I really fear for Big Ange Postecoglou at this point. I fear for him after this game. I think he might get sacked, but I definitely fear for him if he doesn't get sacked before Rangers, and if he loses to Rangers and he loses to Southampton, who we have next in the league, it will be the end of Ange Postecoglou. And just, listening to the co-commentary today from Jamie Carragher, and he's talking about, the same way that they used to talk about Marcelo Bielsa, so beautiful to watch at Leeds, but you can't play that way in the Premier League. Well, I'll tell you this, Jamie Carragher, he didn't play that way today. Tottenham conceded all the possession to Chelsea. And the reality is, it was just absolutely woeful decision-making at times from Tottenham. Absolutely appalling. And it's a young squad. And when it's going well, you're like, it's a young, hungry squad. It's great to watch. But now it's not going well. And it's really hard to see how these results are going to turn around. Because even when it went 2-0 up today, I didn't celebrate because I knew what was coming. We're a Jekyll and Hyde team. We're a basket case team. And there's not a lot going for it. There really wasn't a lot going for it. Chelsea looked dangerous on the transition from the start. And you just didn't fancy that Spurs had what it took mentally to keep it to keep us winning, and that proved to be the case. It's really hard, and it always happens against Chelsea. And Chelsea just laugh at us. Chelsea fans just laugh at us. 3-point lane, all of that stuff, and it's over and over again. And listen, yes, we're in the middle of a painful rebuild. Things are difficult. We are still in the cup competitions. Don't forget, a lot of people said in pre-season, I don't care about the league this season. I just want us to win a cup. The problem I have is, can you really see us getting to a cup semi-final or a cup final and then making good decisions or having the mentality to find ways to win those games? Whenever we go down in games, we don't have what it takes to get it back. We never, ever do. When we face adversity, we crumble. And so it's really, really incredibly difficult for me to see how it's possible that we are going to win a trophy. And therefore, that whole thing of, I don't care what happens in the league this season. Well, not only is that not the case because everybody really does care, but also the reality is this could end up being a really horrible season where we come like 12th or 13th or worse and don't win a trophy. And yeah, really horrible, horrible times. Anyway, that's been my instant match reaction. I'm going to now try and talk to some other Spurs fans from around the country. Let me see if I can get that going. Let me just turn that off up there. Okay, let's see who we've got here. Let's go to Jim. 1 second. Jim, can you hear me? How are you?
I can hear you. Can you hear me?
I can hear you. You sound like you're in America, Jim.
I am in Ohio, near Cleveland, and
okay.
Not the happiest person in the world right now, as you may well expect.
Yes. So how are you, how are you feeling about it? Do you feel as kind of negative and as if it's kind of end of days like I do?
No, I tend not to overreact to any given loss.
Oh, Jim, you've just
go and beat Rangers. I'll be back to perfectly happy again. But can you hear me? Can you hear me?
Oh. Jim, I can't hear you. Can everybody hear Jim? Let me know in the chat. Jim, just keep talking if you can hear me.
I can hear you. I shall.
Okay, yeah, just keep talking about your thing. It's probably my problem.
Okay, yeah. The difference in the game, the margin between victory and defeat, wasn't anything to do with any decisions Ange made. It wasn't anything to do how with the high line or with free kicks. It was Bissouma and Sarr made a stupid, rash challenge. Those two penalty kicks are the margin of difference in the game. That's it right there. In fact, we didn't even play as high a line as normal today. We defended as deep today as I've seen under Ange. At times, I think is Ange going to a low block or something? But it wasn't the strategy. It was two players who made dumb decisions. Alas, I can't hate on them. I can't, say nasty things about them. But that's the margin of difference in the game, right there.
Good news is I can hear you again, Jim. So I got that sorted. Thank God. I'm sure you said wonderful things. That was a little bit of a stressful moment, but I managed to tech my way out of it. So just going back, you said at the start there that you weren't one for overreaction. So am I to think that really? Do you think Daniel Levy will give Ange this season?
What Levy needs to do is give Ange the possibility of winning some competitions like he has done in the past. This is the first head coach in my lifetime for Spurs that has won basically everywhere he's been. So I'm inclined to give him some leeway, especially if we win against Rangers, get back in the top half of the Europa League, the automatic promotion. I'll be back to being happy again. But the other as I said when you couldn't hear me, the margin of difference in the game wasn't strategy, it wasn't Ange, it was two players who made rash challenges in the penalty area. That's the margin of victory right there. Wipe out those two penalty kicks, we win the game.
But isn't there a bigger picture thing at play though, Jim, which is the reason why those players are making decisions like that is because the mentality is just not there at the moment for us to have the confidence to find our way out of these difficult positions?
I can't speak to the mentality because I don't interact with the players on any sort of basis. But it's not, I wouldn't call it mentality. I would call it being able to keep your head in difficult situations, because there were a few times in that game where we're playing kind of scramble defense where everybody is kind of out of position, everybody is kind of lost their man, and everybody just has to try to scramble to clear the ball. I wouldn't call it lack of winning mentality. I call it the ability to keep a cool head under pressure. And, Archie Gray kept his head during that little time he was in the game, and he played reasonably well. But the other reason why we lost is that Romero and Van de Ven, when they're in, we can beat anybody. When they're out, we struggle. And that's a problem. And I don't know whether perhaps they were brought back a little too soon. Maybe should have played it safer, kept them out until Thursday. But it is what it is. And I'm frustrated. I'm disappointed. And that's the way I am after a Spurs game in which we have a result like that. And I'm not going to write off the team. I'm not going to call for Ange out. I'm not going to say nasty names about the players. But I do want us to get into that sort of, fire in the belly and cool head. That's what you need to succeed. And we didn't have that in the second half today. The first half we played well, I thought. I was really happy with how we played in the first half. And we gave up that one goal that was just, an amazing shot from Sancho. But to stop that goal, you have to stop the cross. The way I see it, it's basic football fundamentals. You learn it in grade school. Block every shot, block every cross. Don't allow any passes into dangerous areas.
Yeah, well, actually, I'm glad you said that, Jim, because actually one thing I've been talking about a lot all season is how we don't stop crosses at source. We don't block shots. I thought Brennan Johnson was too slow to help Pedro Porro out when Jadon Sancho got the ball there. And we did let him run at the box and obviously score that goal. And then there was another time where Cole Palmer nearly did it. But isn't that for me, I'm not going against what you say, Joe. I don't want Ange out, okay? But I'm just going to say what I see, which is Enzo Maresca there had a way of playing that was a lot more stable. It felt a lot more stable to me than the way that Tottenham played. And Tottenham, we can't say that it's like, oh, well, Enzo Maresca's further along in the project, because he's not. He's only had those players for, less than 6 months. So I think for me, that's just something I see where I'm like, look, there are other ways to play where you don't have to be quite so open. And we were open today, I thought, despite the fact that we did play quite pragmatically compared to how Ange usually does.
Well, on one hand, you have a point there. On the other hand, we sliced open Chelsea's defense at times. We created chances. We could have scored 5 or 6 goals. Or in fact, there's that one Sonny miss that I was like, oh my God, how does Son miss that? Like, but
that's true. That's true.
It wasn't that that they played such brilliant defense. We were able to get at them at times.
Yeah, that's true. Listen, Jim, thank you so much for calling in. I really appreciate it. I've got some other people to speak to, but
okay.
Let's speak again after another game. Thanks so much.
Okay, come on, you Spurs.
Come on, you Spurs. I'm going to speak to Harry now. Harry, how are you, mate? You're on mute, my boy. You're on mute. You've got a lovely Christmas jumper on, though, so I'll forgive you. Oh, let me just double check that it's... I can't hear you, Harry, but I am having some audio problems today. Let me check. No, it's not me this time, I don't think. Harry, I'm going to come back to you to see if you can work out your audio stuff. Okay, let's go to JD. Are you there? Oh, no, JD's away from his thing. So let's go to Theodore. Theodore, how are you, mate? Theodore?
Hello.
There you go.
You hear me?
I can hear you, Theodore. How are you feeling after that 4-3 defeat?
Similar to Jim. It's like you think you're getting used to it, but you don't. That's weak, I'm not. No, I'm working with as a teacher, so I'm not looking forward to go to school tomorrow and hear all the Chelsea fans and Arsenal fans yell at me.
I know. What do you think? I'll start with a different tack. What do you think Spurs can do with this season from here now? What realistically, what do you think Spurs can do this year?
I don't really know. I'm just trying to be hopeful and not so reactionary that I feel that most of the fans nowadays are. Mm-hmm. If we would have won this game, I believe we have. If we will feel like we're gonna win it all, but you know how it is. I have a feeling. I hope we can win something in the cups, and I hope we're just in the next part of the season is gonna maybe turn around and don't maybe get 6th or 5th place.
So Theodore, okay, I look, I love the positivity, but imagine we're in the cup semi-final at Wembley and it's against Chelsea.
Yes.
What I don't understand what would stop it from being a very similar game to that. Like what is gonna change about this squad in that time if Ange is kind of seemingly unable to find tweaks in the way that Maresca found tweaks to dominate us today?
I don't have a clear answer to that. I think, like Jim talked about, when we have Romero and Van de Ven, it's a different. It feels like the players feels more confident when we have those two. I thought it was a big difference first 20 minutes, but like you said, there's something else going on. I think, like you talked about before, it seems like the players don't really believe it. Because if we should be able to lose 2 players without the players.
I agree with you. It does feel a little bit like the players don't fully believe in their ability to kind of. Well, look, when we get to kind of 1-0 and 2-0, we're all over Chelsea. Absolutely, and the players are great, but it's as soon as suddenly something goes against us, then that's where the commonality comes in. That's where the pattern is, where every single time we then kind of fold, and that has to change.
Yes,
and just come into this job saying, I'm here to change the mentality of the club from top to bottom. And maybe the reality is that it just takes a long time, and it's going to take a lot longer than it is now. And they need to be as patient with him as as dare I say, Arsenal down the road were with Arteta when they were really struggling with him. But
Yes,
I don't
totally
know.
agree with that.
Do you think, Theodore? Do you think that Levy will give him that time?
I don't think I read something the other day that Levy often, when the fans starting to yell about Levy out and something like it, often reacts by kicking the manager because he wants to, I don't know, save his pride, I guess. I don't know. And I'm totally Ange in. I'm behind Ange everywhere. I believe in this. I have a good feeling in Ange, and I believe he's gonna, if someone is gonna change the mentality, is him. But and I also believe that Ange have given the club like a shimmer of soul, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, I do. I actually agree
Ange,
with that.
And without Ange, it feels like the club is just a soulless company.
Yeah, no, I agree with that.
Somehow.
Theodore,
I'm behind Ange, but I'm scared about Levy.
Yeah,
I guess.
Theodore, thanks so much for calling, mate. I've got some other people to
Thank you
speak to,
very
but I'll speak to you again. Cheers, mate. Just going to go through some of the comments quickly. Kev G says Arteta got back because at least they could see a plan. What this idiot we got in charge got no idea. Artava Campbell says should be sacked tomorrow. Spurs 6661 says Arteta was never 11th in the league. MUDFC says we are where we belong based on our spending / wages. That's not actually true. I think our wage bill is kind of the 5th or the 6th highest. And actually in the last few years, we have been kind of in the top 3 spenders in each window. So that's not true. Ho LA Spurs says we missed many chances. What coach do you want? That's the other thing, I think. And I'll talk to some of our other callers about that. There's no obvious manager out there for me. The one that I keep thinking about is Pochettino, but he's the American manager now, and he wouldn't break that, would he? Let's see if we can get Harry if I can hear Harry.
Can you hear me?
Yes, top man.
Sorry about that.
No, don't be silly. How are you doing, mate? And yeah, give me some perspective and some positivity somehow, Harry.
I'm good, thanks. I hope you're well. It's frustrating. It's painful, to be honest with you, but I think you've got to look at the bigger picture. I thought we were really good today. I thought the players showed a lot of commitment. Of course, you can never excuse going 2-0 up in a game and somehow losing it. I think that it is inexcusable on its own. But I thought we done well today, and there's whole questions about there's a lot, wasn't there, about commitment coming into this. I think we showed commitment. We turned up for the game and made it really hard for Chelsea. But a couple of brainless decisions to give away a couple of penalties, and we just didn't take our chances, really punished us. So the pressure will no doubt be on Ange after this. But I think the bigger picture is important. I think we were good today, but because it's Chelsea, because we were 2-0 up, as I said, just Chelsea, that London derby, it's going to hurt a lot more than usual, and the pressure will be on Ange going into tomorrow morning for sure.
Some people in the comments, Harry, are talking about, and it's actually Artava who says the high line and the intensity is causing injuries. Is it just coincidence that we get all these injuries, Harry, or is there something to be said for it's too intense? Ange's insistence on being kind of radically in opposition's faces for as long as possible must be, for me, it must be causing a lot of these muscle injuries.
Yeah, I don't think it is a coincidence. I think it's system related. And I said something on my personal social media on X in the first half, which didn't go down too well, but it was about Romero being rushed back. And I think Van de Ven being injured as well. For me, I look at it and go, neither of them should have been past fit. Whether, Romero's injury was in a different position or not, whether it's self-inflicted, I don't think that him, in particular Van de Ven, the bigger risk here, shouldn't have been rushed back. And I'm hoping it's more cramp than hamstring. So I don't think it's any secret. Davis, obviously a hamstring. I don't know what the scan results were. So no, it is no coincidence. And it is that high line. I think sometimes you have to be a bit flexible. I don't think that Ange was flexible in this game. But as I said, the bigger picture is important. I think we showed our ceiling under Postecoglou today, what we're capable of. I think that was a reminder. People forgot or didn't see the Man City win over Man City. This is what this team's capable of. If we're, he's given the right players and we're patient and we get behind him. It's been frustrating. It's been a really bad start to the season, but I think he needs time. I don't think we should go through our 6th manager in 6 years. I don't think that's right. I think we need to unite behind him when things are difficult. But yeah, answering your question, I think these injuries are no coincidence at all.
Harry, I like that positivity, but the question is, do you think Daniel Levy will give him the time that you think he deserves?
No, I don't think so. I think, as I said, you're going to tomorrow morning, he'll be under a lot of pressure. I don't think that he will lose his job necessarily this week, but I think he'll be under pressure going into that Rangers game. And I don't think that's going to be easy. Then we go into the Southampton game. Sounds easy, but they need a result. I can see the pressure really mounting. So I don't think he'll be given the time. And I think it's sad to say, but it does feel like the beginning of the end. And whether you agree with Ange's philosophy or not, I think some things are bonkers. Sometimes I think some things we do, like I find the high line suicidal, and some things we do, I think we shoot ourselves in the foot, our own worst enemy, from player decision and also from Ange not being flexible. And it is, maybe we're a laughing stock in that sense, but I think there's no benefit in getting rid of him now. What's the better alternative? You spoke about it with a guest before. Pochettino is not going to come. There's no better alternative right now that's ready to go that says to me, right, get rid of Ange now. I think you give him the season regardless.
I assume, based on what Tottenham are trying to do now in terms of transfer strategy and stuff, I assume that Daniel Levy must have already had a word with Johan Lang and Scott Munn to say, think about, succession plans. I really do, because that's something that Spurs have really failed on previously. They've always bounced from one style of manager to the opposite style of manager, and they've clearly they've devised this strategy of buying young players, talented young players. So do you think it's likely that Scott Munn is probably writing on a list names such as Thomas Frank, Iraola, etc.?
Quite possibly, and they're good managers, but I would prefer if they spent that time thinking about first, right, how can we bring success with Ange, because it's a lot easier to do it than the manager you've got at the moment. Well, having said that, the easier thing actually might be just to sack Ange and bring someone else in. I think that's what Levy and the club keep doing, keep bringing someone else in. But the reality is, someone like an Ange, a high demand system, it's bold, it's going to need the best players to do it, and I don't think we're prepared to do that. With the same with Mourinho and Conte, it's not going to work with your average players and your kind of average recruitment. Because I think the recruitment's been a lot better recently. I think it's really good under Paratici. I don't think we get the credit for it. Looking back at the summer, though, I think we signed some good players, Gray, Solanke, but I think we could have done more. So you talk about planning for these situations. I don't think we've done that enough. But yeah, we should be planning. That's something we don't do well enough as a club, regardless whether it works out with Ange or not. I would say the same with City with Pep. Arsenal with Arteta, they should absolutely still be behind them, but there should be a plan in place for the future. You should always be planning for these situations. But yeah, it hurts, this defeat, and there'll be questions around the ownership, around the manager, around the players. But I call for people to be level-headed, look at the long term, and go, the players show fight, show commitment today. They're still behind the manager, and that for me says all you need to know. You stick with it for now. It's painful, but we need to back the team during the bad times as well as the good times. I know it's hard.
I hope you're right, Harry. They just showed me there a replay of the Caicedo incident in the first half. It feels to me like we're on the butt end of some of these decisions at the moment. Certainly, I think I mentioned it earlier, the Lucic one against Fulham, where he should have been sent off. And for me, I don't know if you agree, that Caicedo one is exactly what Romero got sent off for in this fixture last year. So why didn't he get sent off? What's going on there?
Good question. I personally don't think VAR was in operation when you look at that. And I don't like to blame officials or anything. I think it is quite a lazy excuse that fans use. I don't think it should or would have defined necessarily this result. But it's a decision.
We'd still have found a way to lose, is what you're saying.
No, exactly. I wouldn't surprise me, even by more, maybe. You just don't know with Spurs. We don't plan for these type of situations. It all does come back to that. But yeah, it should have been a red card for me. I was very surprised how quickly it was waved away as well. I don't like to see players sent off necessarily for that, but we've seen it happen. Romero was sent off for that. Where's this consistency? And I know consistency maybe is subjective, but for me, it should have been a red card. I was amazed.
Yeah,
it wasn't. You talk about luck. Another day, we could have got a draw out of it if that decision goes our way. Maybe it's luck, and all of it's going against Ange and the team right now.
Yeah, and to be fair, and to for full equality, I think Kulusevski should have got sent off for elbowing Lavia in the head as well. Exactly.
Yes, it could go either way, couldn't it?
Oh, and they're just showing that as well. Let's just stay with me while we go through some comments, mate, because
of course.
You're really great. Richard Smith says Graham Bergville are too lightweight. We'd seen enough of them play for us. You could answer properly. And Gray lightweight. I see. He's answering someone who said, "Are they too lightweight?"
Right.
TSOM says, "How do we expect Ange to succeed when he doesn't have enough players to play 11 versus 11 in training?" Well, that's kind of, we're talking about the potential that's because of the type of training that he does. Okay, here's an interesting one. Boone Sengley, thanks for writing in. Says, "We lost because there's no in-game management. We are losing control from the first half." Now, Harry, Ange's in-game management is something that gets discussed a lot. Do you think that's something he could improve on?
Yeah, of course, but I would remind fans that there's times where his in-game management has won us games, and there's times where he's got it absolutely spot on. So I think you could look at it, and you could look at it with Chelsea and go, maybe they could have brought that man Weke on earlier, for example. I think Sancho was really struggling in periods in that second half. So you can find faults and positives with any manager's in-game management, but I don't think it's a massive issue, because as I said, there's times where he's brought on Johnson, brought on Kulusevski, and it's changed the game. Look at Man City. The decision to start him on the right-hand side would have been really unpopular and very just rare to find Spurs fans suggesting that, but he comes up with the idea. In-game little tactical tweaks, I think they do work. So his substitutions have been effective. Timo Werner's been apart from this game, has been really effective recently. And at the end, we saw him put a really good ball in the box. On another day, someone gets on the end of that. So, and we'd all be going, Ange's in-game management again gets us a point from when we're losing 4-2. So it's fine margins in football. It is in any sport, but football in particular. It was a crazy game today, and we were on the wrong end of the scoreline, but we were part of a special game with two teams that looked at their absolute best. So I think, again, the bigger picture's important, but I don't agree that his in-game management is poor. I don't think it's a problem. I don't think it's why we're losing. I think his stubbornness, maybe, but his in-game management is usually right.
Tony Plee says, suicidal high line, WTF, Ange. After 2-0, tactics should have changed. You're killing the players. So I guess what Tony's suggesting here is that 2-0, should he have then kind of more gone into like a Conte ball style? But I was saying earlier, I don't know if you agree, Harry, I think Tottenham were a lot more pragmatic in this game and did play kind of on the transition a lot more rather than trying to dominate the ball. So I think fans have to kind of realize that they can't just... And actually, it was Jamie Carragher I heard saying how, Ange is too naive and gung-ho. And actually, I didn't feel like we were gung-ho today.
No, we weren't. I think he was jumping on the bandwagon, to be honest with you. And I would remind people, someone's just said it in the chat, none of us would have expected to beat Chelsea or probably get anything against Chelsea coming into the game. It's the fact we're in such a good position. So this result shouldn't come as a surprise. And a lot of fans that were saying we're going to lose by 3 or 4 goals are now backtracking and going, this is disgraceful when we've lost by only 1 goal. So again, I think you've got to be careful. And again, once again, look at that, a bigger picture. But no, I don't think that the whole thing around in-game management is a massive problem. And 2-0 up, and I agree with you. I think that we did sit back a little bit more. And it is, we make these same mistakes, these lapses in concentration, as they call it, these brain fart, kind of brain dead decisions that from presuming that's why is he even going to floor? Why is he going? He should be on his feet for a start. Pape Matisari's got so much energy, and that's 9 times out of 10 a positive thing. But in this case, he just can't slow himself down. He had that earlier in the first half where he got himself booked. He couldn't slow himself down. That's the problem with his game personally. But yeah, 2 penalties given away. We know Palmer's going to convert them. You could get either way. I think we missed some big chances. But you could say Chelsea could either. So it really depends if you're a glass half empty or half full person. I personally see it as Ange's in-game management isn't a problem. And we did try and sit back and it didn't quite work. That's the way I view it.
Yeah, TSOM here said Sonny had a shocker, sadly. Could have had a few more today. Do you, Harry, see a slight degrading of Sonny's abilities? Or is this just like a momentary lack of form that you think will come back? Ange obviously said, didn't he, a week or 2 ago, I dare you to write off Sonny. But we certainly could have done with him finishing a bit better today, as we could have done early in that Fulham game as well, I think it was.
Yeah, definitely. I think he looked better in this game, but he didn't take his chances, which is a real shame for him. And that one in particular, wasn't it? Where I don't know whether it was stood or not, to be totally honest with you. I think it should have done, but whether it would have, you just don't know with VAR at this point. But where a doggy and intervene would play, just you back him to score that. And we had one with Arsenal last season. We had one a couple of weeks ago. Just back him to score those type of chances. So it's a shame that he didn't. But yeah, I do see a slight degrading on his form, and there's no secret he's not getting any younger. I will remind fans that the South Korean age works differently, so he is really a year younger than if you searched on Google how old he is. So it's clutch at straws here, but that's a slight positive. Maybe we have him for a year longer.
Is he 25?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, not quite that far, not that different. But I think he'd be someone who stays around the club for a long while and will be used by maximum possible for various different reasons. I think he'd be at the club for a long while. But no, I think he was okay today, and I don't blame him because he got in good positions and he was clever thinking to get there and think, hang on, I'm onside, let's keep going. And most players just stop because they think, oh, doggy's going to touch it, oh, it's offside. So you could look at it either way. I look at it and go, someone was better today, just couldn't quite take his chances.
Okay, Harry, brilliant, mate. You've been so good. Thanks so much. Tell everyone where they can find you on your channels.
Thank you very much for having me. Really appreciate it. To talk Tottenham once again. If you want to follow me, you can at HarryScarf22 on like X, TikTok, Instagram, because I'm a football content creator and YouTuber. I also have my own channel, Scarfy Spurs Talk as well, and a podcasting channel there. So thank you very much for having me. And I'm occasionally on Cowlin's show. It's great to come on here for the first time as well. So thank you very much for having me. Big up to the chat.
No problem, guys. Make sure that you find Harry's channels and give him a follow and a subscribe. I don't know. I just don't forget, guys. I'm just thinking you've got about 25 minutes or so before Chris will be online on this channel with his Spurs Chat podcast, and he has Craig Dim and Terry Kim and Richard Whitehead MBE on, and I wonder if he'll be if they'll all be feeling quite as negative as I am. I can see that Ange is having his post-match interview there. He's looking as moody as ever. Let's have a hear of what he's saying. And just saying how Chelsea are a good side. Fair play to them.
As I said, we kind of got disrupted a little bit in key moments.
He felt like Spurs got disrupted in key moments. And those key moments decided the game. Scribble Scrabble in the comments says, I have 100% faith in Ange. Brian Lamar says, Son hasn't been Sonny since winning the Golden Boot. Randint says, guys, we should put our faith in Ange. I believe that he sees problems in his tactics and will alter them or bring in new tactics and players. If we see him through, the FA Cup is with us. Well, all this would be worth it if we won the FA Cup or the Europa League at the end of the season. Anyway, let's speak to JD.
Hello.
How are you, JD?
I'm good. I don't know how we can be a team like this. It's very unreliable. There seems to be a wide range of problems with this setup and the way it's going. Before the match, I wrote down a list of the things that I was concerned about, and I wrote conceding first, Van der Ven was an accident waiting to happen, injuries, inconsistency, fatigue, and not being clinical in front of goal, and Ange's inflexibility. So they're all the things I wrote, apart from conceding first, which didn't happen. I'm very concerned that there's a bigger picture here. That the first half, I thought there were some really good things. I really enjoyed the passing was good, quite accurate, very good, and Kulusevski again was fantastic at times, really, really good, and the finish was great from Solanke. That was good movement to get the goal. But the second half, I mean, the press totally dropped. The possession went down to 82% for Chelsea.
Yeah.
And I just felt before the game that we were going to lose, which I've supported Spurs for 52 years. So, I mean, I've seen a wide range of. I've never felt this insecure about a team in the sense that because of these reasons. It seems I know the injuries have been very unlucky in some ways, but not in others. I think that the tactics he uses, the fact that. With the defense, I mean, they were giving Neto and Sancho so much space on the sides that any diagonal ball was going straight out to the wings. They were causing an awful lot of problems, and I think it would happen if Salah was playing or anyone like that. And I don't know why tactically they don't get closer to for that diagonal ball, things like that. I think that creates a lot of things. There was virtually no midfield. The game was very strange. It was a bit crazy, wasn't it? It was like. It was all one end. It was like ping pong. It was going from one end to the other. Yeah. It could have ended up any basketball scorer, really. But
do you think that's down to the fact that we just don't have a natural number 6 who kind of really sniffs out danger?
I think that's a big factor. I think Basuma when he was really confident, and certainly when he played for Brighton, he had the ability to take people on, go forward. He was very, very forward thinking. He's now become very sort of sideways passing, and he's making mistakes. I mean, that was a bad mistake. The discipline in the second half fell apart, as everyone said, quite rightly. So yeah, I would. I mean, I'm not saying Højbjerg should have stayed, but he was a strong player, and we missed that strong defensive link. It makes it too easy.
What do you think is going to come next? Do you feel, as I do, that Daniel Levy will be thinking about it right now?
I think inevitably he probably will have to. I mean, I have reservations about the tactics. being fantastic one day and then sort of resting on your laurels and seeing such poor performances at times. I mean, the game against Ipswich and other games, I mean, it has been poor. And I think how can you sort of really trust when you've got such severe inconsistency? You could say that when we get all our players back, we have quite a good strong squad. We don't have strength in depth, and we really don't. And when Postecoglou was at Celtic, he got four young players in who were really good. He also got 4 experienced players, and we've only really got Solanke in recently. And we need more experience. I think we need more strength in depth. Whether that will happen in January, I'm not sure. With the past business mind that Levy has, it's a tricky one to call, really. And January is not an easy time to get players in, so it could be a difficult year for Spurs, I think, this year. Yeah, it's not been the first difficult year for Spurs, but this one. Sorry, I've lost you. I've lost the sound.
Yeah, I got muted. Sorry. Can you is there any positive? Like, could we somehow find a way to end up winning this season, or is it not going to happen?
I think if we have a couple of good performances in the cup, I think we could win some. I think we could if we go strong in the Europa League, we could win the Europa League. I think there are teams that could be a problem. I mean, Lazio are playing very well at the moment, and there's a couple of teams in there which would prove difficult, but that seems a good route, and that would be a very good route back into the Champions League. So I think that's a good option. In the league, I mean, I think it's going to be difficult because, again, if Romero and Van der Ven are out for 3, 4, 5 weeks, again, it's makeshift defence. I don't know. I really want to come on positive because I really thought that the first half there was some really good positive signs, but you have to continue the press, and I'm not sure with the players we've got we can continue that press. I mean, I think Akulu, Sarr, Solanke, all those players have got really good engines, really good energy, but we do drop off so seriously for periods in the game. That's the way I see it anyway.
I think I've got pretty bad feedback when I talk, haven't I? So I'm just going to ask you one more question.
Okay.
If Ange Postecoglou were to be fired, who do you think Daniel Levy would go to next?
Well, I know there's some people I would like. I think Thomas Frank would be a good move. I like him. I think he's a good manager. The lack of pragmatism is very worrying, really, for me, because and there's been times when his substitutions have been very late, Postecoglou. I think he's not reactionary. He doesn't react quick enough. Sometimes I think that when you see that, you were saying earlier on the talk about in-game management, there was a chance for some in-game management there. I think really earlier in the second half, maybe 60-65 minutes, to be looking at that, where when you've only got sort of 18% possession, you could be looking at, hang on a minute, where do we need to, And I think, but yeah, I would like Thomas Frank. I think he's excellent. It's going to be difficult because the number of managers we had in the past. I'm still a little bit torn. I'm still not sure whether Postecoglou, is right for this. I loved the first 10 games. Like every Spurs fan, I really enjoyed that sort of honeymoon period. But after that, with the injuries and the rest of the year, and it seems to have gone back to a very similar feeling, And I think I don't know how long Levy will give him. I think because Levy is a businessman, and I think it's Europe is very, very important for the finances for the club, etc., like that. So if we're loitering down in the 11, 12, 13, 14 positions, it's going to be a decision that will have to be made at some time.
Agreed. Thank you so much, JD. Really appreciate it. I'll speak to you again.
But I've got one thing. I've got my Spurs till I die glasses on.
Brilliant. At least that's something positive from today. Thanks a lot, mate.
Take care. Bye bye.
For some reason, I seem to be having some terrible feedback when trying to talk to other guests, but we've spoken to all of our guests now, guys. Just to remind you, Chris will be here on his channel at 7:30, so in just over 15 minutes time, with the Spurs Chat podcast, where he will have Craig Dearman, Terry Kim, and Richard Whitehead, MBE. So please do tune into that. Listen, another difficult day to be a Spurs fan, but let's hope that things can change quickly, as they often do in football. I know it feels difficult at the moment. It really does. But we're coming up to a transfer window in just under a month's time. And we have talked a lot. I've certainly talked a lot on my YouTube channel about being patient and allowing Ange to have the tools that he will need. And I think that if we do stay patient with him and allow him the tools, he will learn on the job and start tweaking things. But today it was not good at all. And very, very ugly stuff. But thank you so much for tuning into this watch along. Please do subscribe to Chris's channel if you're not already a subscriber, at Chris Cowlin. Do find me, my channel, at Barnaby Slater _ for daily Spurs content, as well as transfer content as we get closer to the transfer window. And I will be with you again on Thursday night for the Rangers game, which frankly is looking very, very worrying to me at the moment. Nearly as worrying as the Southampton game next week. And we all know about Dr. Tottenham, and it's very hard to not worry about what's going to happen in the next 2 games. And of course, more injuries today as well. It doesn't rain, it pours. But do, most importantly, tune in to Chris Cowlin at 7:30 for the Spurs Chat podcast on this channel. Thanks so much for watching, guys. Come on, you Spurs.